Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. I'm just a question asker. But who is important? This is my brother from another mother, but we got the same father. This is Ibrahim. Good morning, sir. How you
Good
doing
morning.
this morning?
Good morning, brother from another mother. And here,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
Jumbo.
huh?
I was just trying to mess around with some languages, Spanish and French.
Oh, you see, you got all that stuff in you, man. You got all that in you.
Got all that energy. That's about it. You know.
Good deal.
Bonjour, monsieur.
I'm gonna do a bit about la hiya, pa, ha,
Ay, ya todo le pasa.
yada, yada.
Do juice, do juice.
Exactly. Come and see here, beta.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
no sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Yes,
No
sir.
sprechen Sie Deutsch, mean here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, man. Man, we got some things going on this morning. Let me turn my headphones up a little bit so I can hear myself a little better. We got some things going on this morning, man, and we got a topic we're gonna talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to that topic, we'll let it give everybody a chance to, excuse me, to get on in here before we get to the topic. And so I want to ask you, there's a lot of things going on with this situation that happened in Brooklyn at
Mm-hmm.
the store. And the
Yeah.
guy, he actually he's going to trial, he going to court again this morning. We got a lot of people. Good morning, peace. Good morning, what's that, Texas? Good morning, son. Good morning, ID. Good morning. Got a lot of people that's coming in. Thank you. I definitely appreciate each and every one of you coming in. But we're talking about the he pled not guilty. Now, he shot and killed 10 people. Shot and killed 10 people. They got all the documentation, everything. Why would he, Ibrahim? Help me understand. How would he plead not guilty?
Well, in a legal sense, he would plead not guilty because he's trying to avoid the death penalty. His lawyer would tell him to plead not guilty
Mm-hmm.
in order to forward on the trial. And also, that's a way you can make it a statement.
Mm-hmm.
Because that trial is going to be like a circus, right? So if you're in a statement that you want to make about your, whatever you do, and then what kind of defense you're going to set up, it's going to be an affirmative defense, or of course it will not. Will it be extenuating circumstances or reasons? So actually, yeah, they're going to. He's going to plead not guilty. I
Mm-hmm.
guess. I guess that's part of the jurisprudence. To start off this adversarial conversation between the state and the individual.
Mm-hmm. But my thing is, what leg does he have to stand on? They caught him red-handed, caught all the stuff, got all the evidence, got all the
Pre-planning.
documentation that he have,
Oh
planning,
yeah,
the
yeah.
traveling there, the staking out the place. They staking out the place a couple of times. Went there even the day before, and then went out there and said that
Mhm.
he's going there to quote unquote kill black people.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But
yeah. That's it depends on how the district attorney charge him. A lot of people
mhm,
don't understand that when the district attorney puts the case together and charge him, they could leave some loopholes in. Depending
mhm,
who's the district attorney, who's the state district attorney, right? But
mhm,
yeah, but he still has the reason to plead his case. I mean, that's the way the law is supposed to go. We don't get a chance opportunity to that. They gag Bobby Seale and some other people during the '60s and recent history. They'll gag you, even if you got a statement that you want to say and stuff like that. They don't want to hear a
mhm,
statement. They want you
mhm,
to either defend yourself or either plead out guilty. If you plead out guilty on a murder trial, if the district attorney say murder trial, they would go back again and then plead innocent. You know what I mean?
mhm,
To make whatever deal they're going to make. It extend the trial to cost the state money to get people inflamed and stuff like that, or going through with the case.
mhm,
So make a deal, plea bargain for life, right? Or he
mhm,
might want to plea bargain to die, so make himself a martyr. So this is more like a social political thing that we see being played out in courts all the time when it comes to the white supremacy. We have
mhm.
yet to see anybody significantly arrested in January the 6th. That should say how
Yeah,
come
yeah.
Trump is still walking the streets and still pontificating more hate and discord, right? And,
Mhm,
and, and he's not arrested. I don't get it. I mean, all the evidence stacks against him. Been stacking against him since before he became president. And
mhm.
now after this, we still are talking about he did this, he didn't do that, and he should be in jail, tried and locked up. But
Mhm.
that's the way the system works.
Yeah, exactly. Good morning, Marquis. I think that's Marquis. Good morning, Jimmy. We got quite a few people that's coming in, and we do have a phone line. You can definitely call in and be a part of the conversation. Just dial 508-924-3521. 508 888-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to have your input in this conversation. And you said something about Trump, and all the stuff that happened. They said it was uplifting. They had some kind of fancy word they tried to use for that thing, but it was an insurrection.
Yeah,
And
correction.
yeah, because of the fact that it was an insurrection, what do you think about even that process? And it takes so long. What was that? 3 years ago? Almost 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Well, I think the fact is that Biden didn't dump the district attorney. If he
Mm-hmm.
had a dump and installed his own district attorney, we might be in a whole new different ballpark, a whole new different day.
Mm-hmm.
But it is district attorney's office. They can decide, what cases they want to bring, because you got Biden is an executive branch and you got the legislative branch, but the judicial branch is separate. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
that's where we get our information. That's why everybody's talking about this Roe versus Wade. It could go either way. Based on jurisprudence,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's up to him to file the charges, and the charges he filed would predicate what his sentencing might be, because the judge is limited, to a certain amount of sentencing that he can do on someone, right? And we think that law is etched in stone. Law is a living document. Else we wouldn't have no amendments to the Constitution to keep putting
Mm-hmm.
amendments in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
so the law changes, right? Because we have a legislative body that can change the law. They could be contested in the district court, but they're the ones that name the law of the land. And then the
Mm-hmm.
people are the one that emotions or whatever that pushes the law, which is common law. Some states still have common law. Some states are just law, right? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Now you said the people and see the feelings of the people and how they feel on that particular day,
Mm-hmm.
how they go. Because this, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't understand, and so maybe y'all can help me out. Maybe some people can call in and help me out. But how could you, the Roe versus Wade, a woman's right to have an abortion?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do I feel about abortion? That doesn't make no difference to me. That doesn't make a difference. How I personally feel about abortions, that doesn't make a difference. But what I will say and what I can say is, a woman should have a right, if she want to. Uh, the message will return. It might have a right, if she want to have an abortion. Do I agree with it? I put it out there. Absolutely, I don't. I don't. But I also don't think that I have the right to tell another individual what she can do or what she cannot do with her body. What do you say to that, brother? And everybody feel differently.
Yeah, I feel the same way you do on both counts, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
against it, but I'm told that I'm a man, so I shouldn't have no say so in it. Even
Mm-hmm.
though I probably be half of the problem, half of the solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we forget, law is based on a society, and law is driven by common law. It's a judge-made law, a law of the people, right? Where people hold
Mm-hmm.
what they say common sense. You know what I mean? Common sense
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be right or wrong. It's just a common held beliefs. And we're being in a republic, it affords the minority or people with alternative beliefs some redress of grievances or have certain things done. But a
Mm-hmm.
democracy is like a mob. The majority wins no matter
Yeah.
what.
Mm-hmm.
So if the influence of people is predicted by the majority, right? Then the laws of the land going to reflect that, and that's what we see having being played out in Congress today. That everybody's hiding this raw intense where you can't straddle the fence. You
Mm-hmm.
can't say, well, I'm to the right or center. You have to be to the right or you have to be far left, and you're identified as such. So like in the Democratic Party right now, there's a lot of laws and people have these ideas, extreme ideas for me, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and the Republican Party has some of these deals too extreme for me on the other side. But somewhere, where's the moderate base? Where's the people in the middle that can make some intelligent decisions about these things? And it's a state decision because every citizen, every person, every life has a role in this
Mm-hmm.
society, right? So we can't just like saying, well, women's rights are this, that, and the other thing, because some women disagree with that. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Some women think that, yeah, I do have the right, but in society at large, one of my roles is to procreate,
Mm-hmm.
or to feel free if I want to do this, that, the other thing, right? And maybe give me an opportunity to think about it. I don't know. But me as a man and part of society, especially the black race, where 1 out of 4 of fetuses are aborted, I don't know who that person could have been or will be. Just like same way I feel about when somebody get killed on the street. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I feel the same way. they took something away from them they'll never have and never be able to provide to the group as whole. So that's the way I feel about it. But I know there are still wave circumstances when that it should be told charged, right? But
Mm-hmm.
one starts with responsibility of self. And we gotta, I don't know why we don't press this anymore, but it's
Mm-hmm.
responsibility of woman, just responsibility of man to take these things. But it's a special woman who can make a decision. If she can make, if she can't make a decision, then it's mute. Let
Mm-hmm.
her decide what she want to do. If
Yeah.
she can make a decision that she want to have sex with each, whosoever, and she get pregnant, it would be reasonable to assume, she's a mental state. I don't care what age she is,
Mm-hmm.
beyond society, but society norms. She should know she might get pregnant if
Yeah.
she don't take, whatever contraceptive. Now I'm not against contraceptive, but I'm not for it either.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But as long as the person decides to have sex or not to have sex, a mutual agreement.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go to I have to go to my religion. I also go to the society, knowing what society think is normal, right? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I prefer the belief that every life matters, at any circumstance.
Yeah. Now you said in what you were saying, you said you brought into the conversation of religion. Should a person's religion and or spirituality have any say so in their right for that woman to have an abortion if she so choose to do so?
Well, I think that's part of her decision making process. As far as me concerned, I don't, no, my individual concern should not affect that
Mm-hmm.
person
Mm-hmm.
because, I've had family members, family members that went through this process, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told them, this is what happened. I said, well, you can ask your mother or this other sister and stuff like that, right? What they went through. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not as cut and dry as people think it is. It's an emotional process.
Yes, it
I think
is.
I think a lot of women when they go through this, whatever they influence and not being influenced by one way or another, I think it's a travesty of their justice, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
then to want acceptance for it, that's a thing altogether. You know what I mean? You made a decision, so sleep in that bed, right? But
Mm-hmm.
however, you shouldn't isolate anybody. I didn't isolate, some of my relatives or family members. I didn't isolate them.
Mm-hmm.
I embraced them, and listen to their pain and their hurt. How they wish they
But
could have.
see, Ibrahim, I'm not a woman, have never been a woman, don't have any desires to be a woman. I'm a
Mhm.
man.
Right.
And so I can't really speak for a woman. We have our goddess on the line. I'm gonna go to her as well because she's a lady. She can speak for from that viewpoint.
Mhm.
But to me, um, the average person, and I'm talking about the average person, it have to be very difficult for her to make that decision
Mhm.
under normal situations, and I say under normal situations
Mhm.
to abort, terminate her child because that is a piece or a part of her, and to make that decision, I think it have to be difficult. And again, I'm not a woman. I can't speak for a woman, but I'm a human, and the human side of me says that it have to be tough for a woman to make that decision to kill her offspring and to have to live with that reality that she did it. Let's go to Goddess. Goddess is a young lady. She's better equipped to speaking for a lady certainly than either one of us is. Good morning, Goddess. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Goddess, how difficult, and I'm not going to get into your personal business, whether you did, whether you didn't, that's not my business. But you probably know some other ladies, have some friends, whatever, that have had an abortion. How tough was it for them to make the decision to do that if they converse with you on it? And why should we as men even have a play in that? Because I think it already is tough for her to make that decision. So why should we even have a say in that?
Um, Personally, I don't think a man should have a say in a woman's body.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a person should have a say in anybody's uh, uh, choices to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um,
Let me ask you this question.
there's a
'Cause
lot of
I
people.
see you thinking over
Go
there. Let me
ahead.
let me throw something else at you real quickly. You're married. You've been married for 3 years. You want to have y'all get, you say y'all got two babies already. Say y'all got two. I'm just throwing a scenario out there. Say y'all got two babies already. You want more kids. He don't want any more. He don't want any more kids. Say, okay, that's enough. We and he behind your back go have a vasectomy and snip snip. And then he come back and he show you the paperwork and you wanted more kids. Should you have had any say so in him having that procedure?
No, that's his body. My
Wow.
brother did that. So
Mm-hmm.
that particular scenario is something that I'm very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
That is his body and that is his choice.
Mm-hmm.
He evidently he had reasonings why he did not want to have any more kids.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Maybe it's the fact that as him being the protector, the provider, that he felt like he was already stretched too thin
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
already. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, that's one thing about a woman humbling herself for a man to, for a man that's going to be able to be the provider.
Mm-hmm.
You don't humble yourself just to shut up. You humble yourself because you know that man is going to be a protector, provider, and and take care of you and your family and make the right decisions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if he's making that right decision due to those levels, then no, or due to a health level, no, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to be upset
Mm-hmm. Wow,
uh,
that's good.
on any level.
Mm,
Every time I hear somebody say that they want to go against abortion, well, tell me how many kids have they went out here and adopted?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good.
I want to know how many kids have they went out here actually and went and adopted.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Caller, are you there?
Oh, good morning. This is Monique.
Good morning, Monique. How you doing this morning?
Oh, just fine.
Good day. Monique, what do you say about that? Should a man have a right in whether or not the abortion is used, or whether the lady decide to have an abortion, and deal with the other question? If you all are married, same scenario I told Goddess just now. You all are married. Y'all been married for a few years. Y'all got 2 kids. You want more. He don't want any more. He go behind you, have that procedure done, zip zip, snip snip, and can't have any more kids. Should you have had any say so in that procedure of him making that decision to do that? Should you have had any say so in that process as his wife?
Um,
As his wife.
um, as far as the vasectomy, um, I think we probably should have had a conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it is his decision
Mm-hmm.
to make.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that's my belief on that. That
Mm-hmm.
we should at least have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And but he, that's his final say so.
Mm-hmm.
And should I say yay or nay? Mm, no, I believe that's his decision because he has to live with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay.
and
Okay.
as far as the abortion is concerned, I don't think men should, play a part in that because at the end of the day, that woman has to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not she choose to have one or not. Because they can sit here and say, okay, we're gonna be there, but they can up and leave at any given moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do believe that there should be some things out there. So, if a woman wants to have an abortion, there's some safe, places to go. I think that should be, possibly governed, because, back in the day, a lot of women were using hangers,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
all kind of stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that there should be some kind of, something there. And because it is there, that has to be governed
Mm-hmm.
in some kind of way so these women can have it in a safe, place.
Wow. Wow. That's good. Okay. That's good. But and there's so many different levels on this thing. But and I do agree with you when you say that there should have been a conversation. There should be, but and in both ways, there should be a conversation. There should y'all sit down and have a adult conversation on to what y'all going to do. Ultimately, If he want to have a vasectomy, the ultimate decision is his. If she want to have an abortion, the ultimate decision is hers, because these are affecting their individual bodies. But my thing is, and we got a caller, another caller. We're going to go to that caller. But let me ask you this question, Monique, while I have you here. And I'm not going to get into your personal business. It ain't my business whether you did or whether you didn't. That ain't got nothing to do with that. But my thing is, if a young lady have an abortion, it have to be very difficult for her to get in a normal situation. In a normal situation, it have to be very difficult for her to come to that decision. And my thing is, why should we come as men compound it by putting added pressure on her? What do you say to that? Because it have to be difficult for a normal person to make that decision to terminate their pregnancy.
Yes, it is, and that's something that, she will probably have to deal with, for the rest of her life.
Mm.
And I think, men probably should, kind of step to the side, for that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of cases where, where there have been some women that have, had abortions and they had some kind of regret,
Mm-hmm.
behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And, and having to, deal with people saying that she shouldn't have, and she goes into a depression, over it. So, mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think, men should, let women make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Even I understand he might want to have, a child, but, you know, for whatever reason, if that's what she wants to do, I think that, he should allow her to do that.
Wow. Wow. And I listen to your choice of words. Allow her to do that, because that opens up a whole different line of conversation. Allow her to do that. And I just maybe I overlisten to things. Rico, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I can't complain. Welcome to a new day, everybody.
Hey, to you as well, brother. To you as well.
Morning.
What do you say to this, man? We're talking about this whole situation with the abortion. And Rico, we're not women. We don't feel like women. We're men. We're men. But as human beings, I would imagine it would have to be very difficult for a young lady to get to a situation or place in a situation where she wants to terminate her baby. It have to be a difficult decision for her to make to do that. So why should we as men compound that thing by telling, well, you can't do this, well, you don't get Rico, are we overstepping ourselves, brother?
I ain't gonna say that. I mean, I ain't gonna say that shouldn't be a discussion
Mm-hmm.
because you have to understand that sometimes people get emotional and they
Mm-hmm.
act on these emotions, just like they laugh when somebody die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a woman will say she want to get rid of a baby just because she acting out of emotions right at the top. She's
Mm-hmm.
not thinking rationally.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to sit down and have a talk and have a discussion. See, first off, there are so many levels to it. You know, say for instance, you speaking in the aspect of a woman being in a relationship with a man, maybe her boyfriend or husband,
Yeah.
significant
Yeah.
other,
Exactly.
and they mutually laid down, and she had ambition. She, got a career in mind that she, looking to have a family 8 years down the road, but all of a sudden y'all made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Now, out of the order of life, out of respect for the order of life, you should have some discussion. And in the process, you might be able to reaffirm or convince her that it can still work because she may only want to get rid of this baby for her career.
Mm-hmm.
Might not be a health issue. It just might just be a success thing. And you might think to yourself, well, wait a minute, I don't want to get rid of a life
Mm-hmm.
just because you don't want to put your career off for 9 or 10 months. I
Yeah.
got your back.
Mm-hmm.
So, you might be able to discuss how y'all can work around that and she could still accomplish achieving her goals.
Mm-hmm.
Because in some cases, that's how it happens.
Yeah.
Now, she could be in a relationship and got raped
Mm.
or cheated,
Mm-hmm.
and she don't want that husband to know. Well,
Wow.
it probably would be best for her to go handle that business on her own without her even letting him know that it ever would ever happen. I know women that went and had abortions without their husbands knowing
Mm-hmm.
because they got pregnant by the side dude.
Mm.
So there has to be a discussion. If it wasn't for me, my second oldest son wouldn't be here. His mother was acting irrational. I knew, to be honest with you, the night she got pregnant, I knew I impregnated her. I got her. I'm just expecting the phone call soon. So a little bit after that, she started getting sick. And she told me she was sick. I said, man, I went and told my supervisor, I said, bro, I got to leave work, man. Like, what's wrong? I said, my baby mama's sick, man. She's pregnant. She didn't even know. So I took her to find out. The same day I took her to find out, my stepdad's mother died. So we found out she was pregnant with my second oldest son the exact same day. I can remember this whole day like it was yesterday because of how much stuff happened in that 24 hours. And she wanted to get rid of him, man. When I tell you, she boo-hoo. She's not coming out her nose. I mean, but me, that's my baby. See, it would have been different if it had been somebody else that was pregnant and I was just giving advice, but that was my child in her stomach. So, I wasn't as easy to just say, well, okay, you just got the right to do what you want to do. I was like, wait a minute, man, that's my baby. That might be the next president.
Yeah.
That might be the next person that comes up with the cure for cancer. Why are you wanting to do this? I didn't want two of them back to back like this and that. Well, this is a life we talking about now. We might be taking away something great. I can't tell you how to do it. But what I can do, since I don't agree with it, I stalled her out and let her know that if she was going to get it done, she was going to have to get it done the best way possible. But I did not tell her she couldn't.
Wow. That's good. And there's a lot of things going on with this, man. We're gonna get to our topic for the day, and just probably at the top of the hour. We'll get to our topic at the top of the hour. Mary, good morning. How you doing? How you doing this morning? Good morning.
I'm all right.
Now, Mary, we're talking about who have the right to tell a young lady when and if or should she have an abortion. This Roe versus Wade situation has opened up a can of worms. Mary, who have that right?
Who has it?
Yes.
I mean, I guess legally the woman does.
Mary, your phone is very low. Your phone is very low, Mary. Your phone is low.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, absolutely.
I said I guess legally she does.
And that's the only one, right?
But I would hope she would listen and at least take into consideration what he says. But I mean, it's not really his decision.
So why did the government feel as though they could step in and tell a woman that she can't have an abortion?
So I didn't tell us everything. I don't know what to tell you that.
Huh? What happened?
I said they feel like they can tell us everything. I don't know what to say about that.
Exactly. It's crazy. Charles, good morning. How you doing this morning? Charles, what you doing? Charles got a man. Yeah, man. What this dude doing over here? God is talking to me while Charles over there brushing his teeth.
I'm in. I'm trying to take care of the dogs. You see what got my team on the floor, man.
That's a big boy right there.
Yeah, that's a big baby, man.
He disturbs his privacy. Looking at you crazy.
Exactly. He said, man, look at man. Well, hey, I didn't ask to be on here, but Charles, we talking about this situation now. Okay, Charles, I'm gonna give you a whole scenario like I gave earlier. You're a young man. You've been with this lady. Y'all married for 3 years. Y'all have 2 babies. Within those 3 years, y'all got 2 babies.
Right.
She wants some more. She wants more kids. She wants some more babies. You don't want it anymore. You don't want it. You don't want any more baby. You don't want no more. You go and have the procedure done. Snip. You go have it done without telling her. You come back home with the paperwork, and she see it on the table talking about, what is this? And you explain to her, I went and had that procedure done so we could have many more kids. Now, were you justified in doing that? It's your body. You do what you want to do with your body, but
my body, my choice, right?
Should she have had some say so in that whole situation?
If you married, yes. If you married, yes. If you shacking, no.
So if you married, if she says she don't want you to go have a vasectomy, you don't want any more kids, and y'all like rabbits now.
I understand, but you still got. That's y'all together. You know what I'm saying? Marriage is together. So y'all got to come to a conclusion. Whether or not, you still got to come to a conclusion. Especially when you go, I understand it's not wanting the baby part, but you got to come to a conclusion about the point of you going to get a vasectomy. See, the not wanting the baby, you still got to come to a conclusion there, whether you got to go to counseling and talk, whatever. But if you go out and just go get a vasectomy, just like if she go out and get her tube side, which I don't think she can, but anyway, the laws are crazy, but still, that's a boy, hey, that's grounds, man. Those some grounds right there. You're breaking the wrong grounds. You can't do that because that's her and your call. When you are married, that's what it is. All you see, a lot of people got these shacking rules, but when you're married, there's different things that go on than shacking. You know, shacking up, you say you don't want to have no more babies, you can go out and get a vasectomy. Shacking up, say she don't want no more babies, she can go and get her tube side because y'all ain't doing it with shacking. You're not married, and there's a difference. If people want to say it's not, it's a difference. Get married and find out. It's a difference.
Exactly. Ibrahim, we got a couple of callers on the phone line. Y'all hold on for a second. We're gonna come to you in just 1 second. Promise we're gonna get to you. Ibrahim, you had your hand up. What's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, you know, without
Ibrahim,
just getting
bring your camera. Bring your camera around just a little bit, Ibrahim.
Okay.
Bring your camera right there. There you go.
Yeah, you know, I've had some experiences on this, right? I had a lady that she knew I was married, and she was pregnant.
You get too much information now. Go ahead.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's don't just like throw out generalities, right?
Yeah.
And she knew I was married and everything, right? And we had a serious relationship. But she asked me. She said, "Listen, I'm pregnant. You know, what do you want to do? You know what I mean?" And I said, "Well, I'll take care of my responsibility. You know what I mean?" And but she did ask me. She came with a decision on her own how she was going to handle this, right? But she did give me the ask me. I told her I would take care of all my responsibilities. I guess I didn't say the right thing to her, but that was something that she did for me. And being married, my second time being married, I was married 18 years. My first time, this time here, we've been married 15 already. We've been together longer than that. But my wife asked me, you know, she waited 2 years. We were married 2 years before she decided that she wanted to have a baby for me, you know, and for the family, right? She already had 3 kids, and I was stepping up to a stepfather. Yeah. So I was happy with that decision. You know what I mean? That, you know, then when she made that decision, I like my brother that got sick, and I knew when all my kids were born. You know, I didn't pray before their mother did for some reason. I went through the sickness and everything, but it was the time. It was good by that, and I'm proud of both of my kids. You know what I mean? The 2 kids that I do have, that I know that, you know, that they were, you know, with their mothers, right? And but it's a thing that it's a decision that we had to make collectively. We don't. If you go out and just make a decision like that, you know, for whatever's sake, I would adopt now. My wife now, you know, it's about the wife too. You know, I can't just go out and adopt. I would adopt some black kids, right? But my wife don't want to do that. You know, we both. But I think that it's the best thing that you should have a conversation about it. You have a relationship, man. We grown folks, man. You know that might be pregnant. It might be, you know, you might be outside relationship. You might have some type of venereal disease or whatever. You know, sexual disease. You should really have conversations about these things, right? This is grown folk. Now I know a lot of people. Well, this is my right and that's my right. Well, it's my right to go sleep whoever I want to, right? If I come back home with some disease and you have sex with me, hey, you know, you didn't ask, right? I didn't tell. You know, so I'm just using me as an example. Yeah, just saying me, you know, and not generalize, but you know, it is a thing, a relationship, even sexual relationship. If it's just more than one night stand, even one night stand is serious. You know what I mean? If it comes to that, and so if I'm thinking beforehand, right, then I will make some tough decisions, right? And it's a family thing, you know. So it's more than just you. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Let me go to the phone line. Got a couple of people that actually on the phone line that's been holding for a minute. Annie, I think you were the next one to call in. Annie, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm wonderful. How you guys doing?
Hey, doing good. Annie, who have the right to tell you whether you can or cannot have an abortion? And if you're a 24, 25-year-old, you've been married for 2 or 3 years, and y'all got 2 kids already, and he decide on his own that he want to go out there and have a vasectomy because he don't. You want more kids, he don't. Y'all been back and forth about this thing for a long time. He go out there and get snip, snip, snip. Now, is he right or wrong? Is he wrong? Should you have had any? Should you have had any say so in him doing that?
You know, when you are married, you become one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe that a guy making that kind of decision on his own
Mm-hmm.
is right,
Mm-hmm.
because you know my voice should be heard in the situation as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because a lot of guys have done that. I know a lot of people who say they've went out there and they've gotten, you know, they've gotten snipped.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, if you're married and your wife, you know, you guys are one according to the word of God. So now you go out there and do that on your own. Okay, why are you doing this right here? I mean, are you out there messing around? And feel
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have a baby out there? You know, why are you doing it without my say so? Why is my voice not being heard? And the first question you asked was about the abortion.
Yes.
We talked about this, I believe, last week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're married now, coming from that side, from that angle, a woman do not have the right, I don't believe, to go out there and abort a child if her husband don't know she's pregnant, or you know, if he goes against it. I don't think she have that right.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you're married, if you're pregnant, I can understand if you're having a trouble pregnancy and married,
Mm-hmm.
or a trouble pregnancy period, you know, and trying to carry a baby, whether you're married or single. But I don't think, you know, I don't think the woman have the right as well to go out there and say, well, I'm going to abort this child because we have enough bills. We have too many bills right now. I can't afford to let them out. I don't think that should be her opinion. I mean, her choice alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like she have a say so in what he do, he also have a say so in what she do. But now, if a woman is single, let's go there. If a woman is single and she, I'm not really for abortion until, you know, like I stated the last time when you talked about this, unless you've been raped,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless you know, something happened like that, you know, I would definitely abort a child, you know,
Mm-hmm.
abort the pregnancy. Now, many people say, well, have the child and give it up for adoption, but it's not that simple. You know, it's a whole new mindset in being raped. And I would not want to carry a child for 9 months by someone that took advantage of me,
Mm-hmm.
by someone
Mm-hmm.
that forced himself on me.
Yes,
And then
absolutely.
knowing all the time, I don't love this child. I don't even know, you know, here I am pregnant and someone forced me to carry this child. I would definitely, you know,
Mm-hmm.
believe in abortion in that case.
Mm-hmm.
In that
Mm-hmm.
case, but you know, because giving a child up for an adoption, whether you raped or, you know, whatever, the child is still there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not to just have a child and say, well, I'll give it for adoption. I don't think that, because that child in your womb and you have not even bonded.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
taken advantage of. You were taken, you know, clearly taken advantage of. I read recently where a boyfriend impregnated his girlfriend's 11-year-old daughter. I
Mm.
definitely believe in abortion in that case.
Yeah.
I do believe in that.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
nothing but a mess in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, in those cases right there, I do believe in abortion. However, if you're married, I think it should be you know, both of you guys decide together.
Mm-hmm. That's good. We have another caller from the 678 area code. 678 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Cassandra.
Hey, Cassandra, you got a different name on me there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cassandra, what do you think about this whole situation? And like Andy said, we spoke about this, and it's still big that Roe versus Wade. They're still fighting this thing. Who have the right to tell a young lady when and if and how she should have an abortion? And you're a young lady, you're married, been married for 3 years, same scenario, and you want more kids. Your husband don't. Y'all got 2 already. He don't want any more kids. Cassandra, he go out there, snip, snip, have the vasectomy, come back, papers on the table. You look at him and you say, well, what is this? He said, well, I had the procedure done. Was he right? Was he wrong? Or should you have had any say so in that decision, Cassandra?
That's and I feel this way about a woman having an abortion. If you're married, there needs to be a conversation. For him, the final decision should be his decision. For her, the final decision should be her decision.
Mm-hmm.
But like
if you're married, then there needs to be a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is how I feel about it. Okay, well, this is how I feel about it. Okay, well, you know what? It's your body. You make the final decision. But that it needs to be a conversation. I don't agree with either one if you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Shacking up, you need to make everybody make their own decision, because y'all ain't there is no
Commitment
before God.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
commitment before
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
It's you two doing what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I definitely believe that either side needs to have a conversation. You
Mm-hmm.
need to have a conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so if he go out there and get that snip, how would you feel about that, Cassandra? Would you feel some kind of way?
I mean, if he do it without us talking, yeah, it's like, babe, why would you do that without at least having a conversation with me? It's your body. You could do what you want to do, but we should have had a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I mean, I keep it real simple, but basically, that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Morning, y'all. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Curtis, you know the scenarios and situations that's out there, man. Talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
I mean, a woman has the right to make a choice about whatever is happening to her body, because her body does not belong to man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, between her and her God. I've said it several times. I even interjected a couple times when we was talking about it and said, "Hey, well, so it's okay for a man to have a vasectomy." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, at the end of the day, it's the same thing. It's birth control.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? Like, no, it's not right. At the end of the day, if you're married,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened in America, man. It's like we don't forgot how to agree to disagree. Don't nobody want to be wrong. I don't know, man. It's just but nah, a woman's still, at the end of the day, I'm with Cassandra and I'm with Annie. At the end of the day, a woman has the final say so over her own body.
Mm-hmm.
A man has the final say so over his own body.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing to do,
even in a marriage situation,
about,
even in a marriage situation, Curtis.
Yes, even in a married situation,
Mm-hmm.
you do not own your woman.
Mm-hmm.
You don't own her. She is not a piece of property. She is
Mm-hmm.
not a car. She is you. I don't.
But see, that could go both ways. Do you also mean that she don't own him? Because, and if you want to go out there and have a vasectomy, if he want to do that, even though she want more kids, she don't have any say so in that whole scenario. None is what you're saying. It's his decision. I'm just asking a question, brother. I'm asking a question.
Yeah, I just said it.
Mm-hmm.
I said a woman has the right to make the final decision
Mm-hmm.
on her own body, just
Mm-hmm.
like a man has the right to make a final decision on his own body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But there should be a conversation. If you are married, there should be a conversation about this thing. Hey, look, I'm not feeling comfortable with blah 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 blah. I don't want to have any more kids, blah 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 blah, whatever. But there should be a conversation if you are married.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a conversation. But if you are married and you two disagree, that don't mean run down to the lawyer and file for a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
We have to learn
Exactly.
how to
Exactly.
agree to disagree. Nobody wants to be wrong. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not even a right or wrong issue. It could be a health issue.
Mm-hmm. See, now we see that brings whole different. That brings whole different. When you talk about health, that brings something totally different into the conversation. So my thing is, and that's why I said at the beginning of the scenario, in normal situations, what should happen?
In a normal situation, at the end of the day, a woman still has a right to choose for her own body.
Mm-hmm.
So does a man.
Okay.
So we're gonna be in the business of removing one person's natural right, but allowing for another person's natural right to be sustained.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's if we talking about fairness,
kind of backwards, huh?
You know what? It doesn't say fair anywhere in that whole mindset.
Mm-hmm. Good.
It don't.
Let me go to Rico. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, everybody hitting it on the head. I just think, to me, it's not that complicated, but it can become complicated if you just try to make it a one-size-fits-all answer.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we already know the golden rule and about honor and respect. So I'm gonna say, out of respect for that person that you're married to, knowing that y'all have came together in a union and formed a bond of one, that there has to be a discussion made. Now, the logic is automatically going to tell you if her health is at risk and she might die from it, of course you got to let, pretty much side with her, even if you do want a child. Man, this is my first child. I always want to be a father. But she might lose her life. It ain't going to be too much for me to discuss. I'd rather try again.
Yeah.
See if we could, you could live and we could make something else happen, because you were the love of my life too. But there comes a situation where she may be cheating or may have been raped. I don't imagine a discussion would be had then.
Exactly.
She probably wouldn't sit down with him and tell him, hey, I'm pregnant and it might not be yours. I know it's somebody else's. So,
I
or
cheated
she
on
try
you.
to fool him and trick him.
I cheated on
but
you.
I think
basically.
But I think there has to be a mutual respect for each other and appreciation of the person that has to go through it the most. First off, what men have to understand is that even though the woman, because I'm gonna go back a little bit. First, I think it has to be understood the reason why the abortion is wanted. Because there has to be some type of counseling or therapy to the mother for her reasoning. Maybe she just wanted to get rid of it because she mad at the husband or something. You get what I'm saying? And you don't want to take a life and then all of a sudden, later on down the road, you crying 20 years later because you felt like you a murderer. You see so many people do that. But what men have to be cognizant of is the fact that a woman can have a child that didn't want to have a child, and unconsciously, she will treat that child negatively from that point forward.
Yeah.
It won't be something that she's trying to do, but you got to understand that this woman didn't want this baby and you forced her to carry this baby, and she didn't want it from the very beginning. There's going to be a very good chance that she's going to go through some postpartum depression. She's going to look at the baby different. She's going to do some very weird things.
Yeah.
In the process of the fact that she just brought a life into this world that she didn't want to be bothered with for whatever reason. Now, she might be selfish. She might have did it for selfish reasons. But at the same time, she still had a baby that she didn't want to have. I can tell you what will happen is you will have a mother and a child that won't have the bond that they're supposed to have, because unconsciously that mother will always have in the back of her mind that he ain't supposed to be here.
Wow.
I didn't want him. I didn't want her. And I've seen that. I've seen relationships between parents and children, where you would ask yourself, well, why she treat that one different? Or why does she do this or that? Or why does he? And then you'll find out that baby wasn't wanted. That baby was a mistake. They treat that baby like a hassle because it is a hassle. That was something that they didn't never want to feel like they wanted to be bothered with in the first place, especially if she's single. So in the back of her mind, after she first had this baby, she has that initial thought from the very beginning of how I don't want this baby. And so, men have to think about that. If they convince a woman to have a baby that she doesn't want to have, they might have to be the father and the mother to that child. Because that mother can possibly not bond with that child. Or she can be happy that she had the child and say, you know what, man, I'm glad that somebody talked to me. Because I never thought I would love a person to have a child so great. And it came from me. There's so many different levels to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just don't know. I can't give no one word answer. I think I'm going to say this, whatever answer you giving, it has to be custom to whatever the situation is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing right there, man. Everybody's situation is different. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, what I thought about when Rico said 20 years later, it comes back and you're crying or whatever. I actually, like 9 years after I had my abortion, I married the guy that I had the abortion for. We got married. About 9 years later, we came back together. And we were together. I'll never forget it. We were in Oklahoma. He was stationed in Oklahoma, and we were there. And we were just sitting one night and we were talking, And I don't know how the conversation came out, but we, it was like, man, I remember when, we decided to go ahead and you do the abortion, and both of us just bust out crying, and we cried for a moment.
Wow.
We held each other and wept for a moment. So it wasn't like it, you know what I'm saying? I don't think people do it just to be. It was a situation at that time for me that I could not. It's no way. I just did not want to do that.
Yeah.
And so I did, let him know what I was doing. And then, we wept about that baby, it was an emotional thing. So yeah, the decision sometimes that we make, did I regret doing it? I really didn't, because at that time, no, it just was not going to be good. And sometimes it's never a good time, but I'm saying for me personally.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can't come back later and haunt you a little bit.
And
Hey,
that's
I
the
don't
thing
want
I
this
said.
to get by, right? And I got to say something. I don't want this to get by because you probably fixing to say something. Because Sandra said something huge. She still considered the baby a baby.
Yeah.
She didn't consider it a fetus.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's huge. Because a lot of times I think when women or men or whoever goes into this abortion conversation, they think of it from the fetus concept. But now, after all these years, she still feels like that was my baby. And I'm pretty sure in her mind, she imagines that baby in full form, even though it probably wasn't but 3 months so long or whatever. Maybe I can't say. But that's just a prime example of what can happen in a woman's mind once she goes through that process and then has the time to sit back and think about it and marinate and then say, you know what? That was my baby.
I agree with Rico and I agree with the sister, right? I think in this world, we don't understand there's consequences to anything that you do, whether it be positive, negative, right?
Yes.
And this is real. This is a real issue. We're talking about life and everything, right? And one thing that I disliked about Roe versus Wade was that a woman, they didn't want the woman to have a chance to see what the consequences might be if she terminated her pregnancy, right? But at the same time, they were able to see what it's like. Just it's quick, it's fast. Don't worry about it. It's just a procedure. You got to do this, right? But they didn't want to show the woman the consequences of terminating the pregnancy. And I think that's not a really a rational decision making process.
Yeah.
You want every element. And then I think that in a marital relationship and all that, I think both the man and woman, because it affects you. If something didn't affect me, then hey, whatever blows your skirt up, right, so to speak, right? Whatever blows, but look here.
Did you say whatever blows your skirt up?
That's what my wife tell me. She said, "Hey, whatever blows your skirt, do what you got to do, right?" But look here, my wife started. That's why they wasn't a man thing. But yeah, it affects me. You want to make a decision that's going to affect me financially or whatever, socially or whatever, mental, and my mental state. You can't, but you can go. Consequences is right. You want to make that decision? Well, bam. Okay, see you, ma'am. It's your decision to make, but hey, bye. You know what I mean? But it's got to be a discussion from if you marry, even if you're in a close relationship, you're living together. That's still a commitment, whether you know it or not. Like I got a girl say about my boyfriend was cheating on me. I said, how can you cheat on your boyfriend? Well, we've been living together 3 years. I said, yeah, he cheating on me. You know what I mean? So
see, my thing, and I understand exactly what you're saying, but my thing is this right here, and I again, Ibrahim, you and I spoke about this before everybody came on. We're not women. I think Rico, you was here as well. We're not women, and we as men, we can't feel like a woman feels. But I know
we can feel though.
Not like a woman feels. We can feel.
I don't know how. I know how I want to feel, but
exactly. But let me say this. Let me say this. I understand, Ibrahim. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Calm down.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Got me choking up over here.
Yeah.
But my thing is this right here. As a human, and Cassandra spoke about it. I got this clip I'm going to play. I hadn't seen the clip, but I'm going to play it because I think it lines up with what we're talking about now. So if it goes left, we'll just stop it. But my thing is, we can't say that we understand Because a lot of times we're quick to say how much we understand this, we understand that, but we can never understand what she feels like to have to get to us in a normal. Again, I got to keep saying in a normal situation, we can't say that we understand what would take a woman to a place where she feels as though she have to abort or terminate her pregnancy. I mean,
What's normal in an abnormal situation?
huh?
Nothing normal in an abnormal situation.
Exactly. But my thing is this right here, man. If for a lady to get to that point where she feels as though she got to do that and terminate and lack of a better term, kill her child, man, that
Bro,
in normal situations, man, that's a lot, brother. That's a lot to just say.
it might be a lot to
Mhm.
you, and it might be a lot. The way we
And
thinking about it, the way
Charles,
you thinking about it. Hold on,
you
one second,
hold on, now, hold on. You about
one
to go?
second, brother, because you
Hold
just
on,
said
brother.
something that
Charles,
I'm
hold
gonna
on,
agree with
Charles.
you on.
Give him a
Hold
minute.
on.
Minute.
My thing is this right here. I understand. I think I understand where you're about to get, but my thing is right here. To get in a normal and I'm
I'm
emphasizing
gonna say,
in a
I'm
normal
gonna say that.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, see, when you say in a normal situation how a woman feels, we'll
Mhm.
never feel that, and that is true. That's common sense.
Mhm.
But some of them don't. Some
Mhm.
of them don't feel.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? See, you're
I
putting it on somebody who has feelings
I
because you're thinking the way
that's
that you think.
why I
There's
said
some
in a
people
normal
out there.
situation. That's why I said in a normal
No,
situation.
no. Listen to me. When you say a normal situation, you're talking about a normal situation of why you're getting the abortion.
Mhm. I'm
Correct?
saying
So,
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying a
all right,
normal. I'm saying in a normal situation where a normal person, a rational,
what's the
and a rational person, a normal situation would go to a situation or go to a place where she said, "I'm just going to terminate I'm just going to kill my baby." And a
all
normal,
right? So the woman, all right. So the woman that does it 5 times, when was it a normal situation?
I don't know. Can a female speak, please, on this?
absolutely. God is go
Well,
ahead.
can I finish? Can I ask? Can I
Yeah.
understand? I know somebody's gonna answer, but I'm just asking a question.
Hold on.
I'm trying to get an understanding real quick.
Okay,
Please
go
go.
ahead.
So I understand what you're saying. Men cannot feel what women feel. That's
Mm-hmm.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Same way, vice versa. That's
Mm-hmm.
correct. We know that. Normal situation, not normal situation. I get it. We won't. But my thing to you is that sometimes we think, men and women think that other people think like us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I heard, uh, um, and when you use the word normal,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're not gonna even go question that word because the next thing is, well, why is that normal?
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't going there. But I get what you're saying, bro. I get what you're saying. My thing is that for the person, the man that goes out there and tells 5 different women to go get abortion is no different than the woman who gets 5 abortions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a difference, but
Yeah.
he went out there and said 5 different women get an abortion. She went out there and got 5 different abortions from 5 different times.
Mm-hmm.
So, in somewhere in there, you are correct. Something ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
But that's done a lot, bro.
I'm not gonna say it's not. I'm not gonna
A
say it's not.
lot. When I say a
But
lot, it's
what
a
you
lot.
what you done is you brought a whole different scenario into the conversation because when I kept emphasizing normal, when I kept emphasizing normal, you brought in this old all the
You
way.
got a point.
Hold on, gentlemen, hold on. You
You
brought
can't
in
make,
a whole.
can't make a normal situation abnormal
Hold on,
situation.
Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Ibrahim. Okay, my thing is this right here.
Okay.
When I'm coming to you guys, hold on, sister. Everybody calm down. This is a good topic today, and everybody got input, and I appreciate that. But hold on for a second, y'all.
This really ain't funny. It really ain't funny, man.
It's not funny at all. No, not at all. This is a serious situation.
Yeah.
This is a serious conversation. But my thing is in a normal situation, man, and I got to keep emphasizing normal. I got to keep emphasizing normal. And yeah, Charles, you're absolutely right. A person could say, "Well, what is normal?" What? And you said the guy that tell 5 different women, that's different from him telling 5 different women because he think he want to be Casanova and go out there and lay with whoever he can lay down with. That is different. I think it will be different on him saying that than her actually going out there and performing. I understand it could be 10 different times, but still the same thing. I understand what you're not wrong, brother. You're not wrong, but I'm just saying is I think it's different. Let's go to the women. Let's let the women. We can't speak for them. Go ahead, goddess.
Okay. I think the problem here is, and a lot of people is not addressing it, Roe versus Wade is when the government's making the decision on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
When they're making a choice, the government shouldn't make a choice, period, on anybody's body. That's period. The second part of it is that women make choices and decisions based off of their mental status at that time and moment.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm 16, 15, I'm not mentally you can't mentally compare me to a person who's 40 something or 30 something or 25. I'm a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old making a decision because either I'm terrified from my parents or I'm not in a capable positioning of making that type of decision, or I don't have that background or that structure to have a baby because I am a baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you keep saying my decision, my thought process, you can't do that because now you're facing judgment on somebody else in a normal situation, as you continue to say.
Okay. Now, let me ask, in a normal situation, do you think God is, and
What is
you're a
normal?
lady, no,
Normality no longer exists anymore.
y'all got this thing where y'all want to talk over me, man. We're not gonna do that. Let me talk, let me ask my question, and then you come back and respond to my question. But talking over me is not acceptable. We're not gonna do that. In a normal situation, is this? Do you think a lady in a normal situation could bring herself to the place where she can just have that abortion and not have any feelings about it?
That's why I just keep trying to tell you.
Okay, well, go ahead, tell me.
Okay, you keep wanting to put it as a normality.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing in life is normal anymore.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It ain't normal. That's what I'm straight saying to you,
Mm-hmm.
that you keep trying to push.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
There's a lot of things ain't normal anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Normality is a rare situation now. Normality existed when the mother and the father was getting married and having a marriage and all that. These things out here, and life is different now. It's a lot different. So when people make certain decisions, they make it based off of what they're going through in that particular time, a moment of their life.
Mm-hmm.
So they, like I told you, we talked the other day about post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of our youth are already raised in post-traumatic stress disorder. Their mother's on drugs, their daddy's not there. They already in post-traumatic stress disorder. They're seeing their own kids, friends get killed. They're already going post-traumatic stress disorder.
Mm-hmm.
So what's normal about that? Mm-hmm. Nothing.
We poured in a lot of different things. Let me go right now to Ibrahim. What's on your heart, brother?
Oh yeah, I think everybody's on point in a way. But if you think there's no consequences for your action, this was my thing. Like there was a decision one time. I had some family members that are LGBTQ at one time or another, or still LGBTQ. But
Mm-hmm.
they made a thing about what I think about gay marriages, right? And I said, well, I'm offended to it, but
Ibrahim,
that's the law. That's the law.
Ibrahim. You know that's a whole different conversation.
I'm making a point. I'm making a point about my thinking. I got 7 sisters. I got 1 daughter, and 2 granddaughters, 2 great granddaughters, and all my granddaughters and my daughter, they're 30 something, right? All my sisters over 50. So I've seen this whole thing from a family side. You know what I'm saying? And every decision they made, I didn't champion, but I said, this is your decision, right? I'm here to stand by you. So like the whole thing about that, right? It's the law of the land. So it's discrimination if this is a law. And now if it's not a law for some things, then I think that it's up to the people in the family, the people in the community, and themselves to make these decisions. But understand, that if you don't think it's a constant decision, there'll be multiple uses of that. It becomes selfish. It becomes a thing because it's about you. It's not about you. This is a larger picture, right? Whether I decide that I want to impregnate somebody or they want to be impregnated, blah, blah, blah. This is a decision that goes beyond that. It's a child. The child has a say so in this somewhere. You know what I mean? And even though they can't speak for themselves, we wouldn't take a baby, a birth baby, and just throw it in the woods and say it's okay. But people are doing that. You know what I mean? And they got reasons. So they said if you drop them off at the fire station, drop at the hospital, no questions asked. You know what I'm saying? But these are serious responsibilities that we have to really take in effect as us as people, not as individuals. You know what I mean? But yes, I think the ultimate decision should be with the woman, but to understand the consequences is no different. The consequences are serious consequences. If I think the consequences are serious, then I have to make a rational decision whether this is what I want to go through with this or I don't have to go through with this, right? You know what I mean? But that's my decision. And because I'm based on a rational thing that, I know what life is all about. And I'm gonna make a good or bad decision, but it's my decision, and I'm gonna suffer or benefit from it.
Wow. Tucson, what's on your heart this morning? Good morning. How you doing this morning? Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
I just also. So what are we talking about this morning?
Don't do
what
that.
have you created as you sit back in your rocking chair with your hands on the back of your head and think?
Tucson, let me ask you this question. I'm gonna start off with you right here. You're a young man, 24, 25, 26 years old, right before 30. You've been married for 2-3 years. All right. You've been married for 2 or 3 years. Y'all got 2 kids. You decide you don't want any more kids. You don't want no more kids. Y'all, you talk to her, you don't want no more kids. That's just it. She want more kids. You go one day, you make the appointment, you go snip, have that vasectomy without her knowing. She come home and the paper on the table, she say, Donna, what is this? And then you explain to her that you went and had that procedure done. Right, wrong, how do you deal with that situation? Or how should she deal with that situation? Is your body, is your choice, right?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Wrong answer. No. No, that's not the agreement. That's not the two become one. That ain't no. Wrong. Now, let me tell you something. I had to learn that the hard way. Hear what I'm saying? Your body is not yours. I can't. Matter of fact, if I'm going to be, let's talk about how we use the scripture in the Bible. Even if I feel like, okay, I'm going to fast and I'm going to pray and I'm going to go to God and I'm going to just stop some activity with my spouse. I can't just shut the door and say, okay, I'm going to sleep in the next room for a couple of days. No. That's dumb. You sit. There has to be a conversation between the two of you because you really one. And if you do it any kind of other way, you ain't right. And you can't make yourself right.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
What you got to say about that?
Not a word, brother. What I got to say about that is, Curtis, you up next, and Rico come to you after that. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Curtis, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. I had to hit my mute button. I hear what everybody's saying. I hear what Donald's saying. But at the end of the day, I'm a strong and firm believer that a woman has the right to choose what happens to her own body. And if we have that conversation and we do not agree, then I should love her enough and respect her enough to say, look, I don't agree with this, but at the end of the day, you got the final say so. You got to live with that. And it's the same vice versa, man.
Okay.
Like, I don't know where this male chauvinistic foolishness is coming from, because at the end of the day, we all come from women. What's coming next? What's coming next? If you have a penis, how about this?
Curtis, explain something to me. Explain something to me, Curtis. and because I'm pulling from what everybody's saying, and you just said this male chauvinist situation. Explain to me how it's male chauvinist, not necessarily to me because I know your heart. We've been knowing each other for a long time. Explain it to my listeners.
Male chauvinist, a male chauvinistic opinion.
Yes, in regards to this.
In regards to this, the male chauvinistic opinion is coming into the idea when a man is trying to tell a woman what to do. What to do, irregardless to her situation. He's trying to control his woman. His ideology has absolutely nothing to do with love. It has nothing to do with compassion or understanding. It has everything to do with control, power, and control. That's what.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you.
All right.
And
so let's just keep it. You're welcome, Queen. Let's just keep it. Let's keep it real, man. Women have been doing this thing for centuries, man. Centuries. It's a reason
y'all
why in the Bible.
What's happening right? What's happening? What I'm hearing happen right now. Everybody's putting all the emphasis on just the woman's side, and we also talk about the man with the vasectomy. And y'all are more. Everybody's veering to the left and not want to deal with the right side. So that's the reason why I put both sides out there. I put both sides out there, the male and the female.
Raheen, I said it earlier. I said it again. I just said it.
But what you said,
vice versa.
But what you did say that you did say that, but your whole emphasis is the male chauvinist situation, and that's why I hear you emphasizing the male chauvinist situation. These arrogant and cocky and men that doing this and doing that, and these blah 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 blah. I hear that more.
Because Raheen, how many female legislators do we actually have?
I don't know the actual number.
Curious.
I don't know the actual number.
How many female legislators do we actually have? We only have, I think, 1 or 2 women in the Senate out of 100. We may have a 20% stat in the Congress. 20% population of women in terms of gender out of 535 decision makers. Come on, man. Like, come on. You see what I'm saying? Now, I get it. I'm not saying that listen, I'm pro-life. But at the end of the day, you came in this world by yourself. You're going to leave out of this world by yourself. As a man, it is my job, if I'm pro-life, to say, look, sweetheart, God ain't going to be pleased with what you finna do. Once I have informed you, my hands is clean.
Okay,
it's
good.
Up to you to make that decision.
Good deal. Let me go.
It's chauvinistic.
Okay, hold on. Stay right there. Rico, can you see, brother, where it's a little one-sided?
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you why it's one-sided. Because Roe versus Wade is about abortion, not vasectomy. You rarely have an issue with men saying, "Hey, Rico, this woman won't let me get snipped." 9 times out of 10, I believe if any of those situations happen, that's going to be a mutual agreement. And if that woman disagrees, that man say, "Well, you know what, man, I want to get snipped, but she want to have more children, so I'm gonna wait a little while, but we agreed later on for health reasons that I will go ahead and get it taken care of." That's that two becoming one. So it sort of flips back, like Curtis said, it's vice versa. The only thing is in most cases, that's not an issue with men having a problem with them getting vasectomy. Look, the whole Roe versus Wade situation is because men are sticking their nose in it. So that's the reason why it's even a topic and an issue right now. So you bringing up a hypothetical or a rare instance where might not ever exist or might not ever really be a problem with the vasectomy compared to a problem that really exists, because some women have been forced to have babies, then they go and dump them in the trash can because they didn't have no other way out. They didn't have control. You know, he was bringing up that chauvinist issue. men have been controlling the relationships. So men don't go through postpartum depression. Women do. Men don't drown babies because women drown babies that they didn't want to have. So this is an issue that men have created in many instances where women are having children that they aren't prepared to have, ready to have, mentally fit to have, or just fit to have, period.
Mm-hmm.
Physically or mentally. They might not be caring people. They might be whores. I ain't ready to be a mama. Just want to walk the street or live her life free and willy-nilly. You get what I'm saying? So, you can't expect that, we always hear these terms, you can't turn a whore into a housewife. Well, imagine trying to make her a mother. So if she go out here and have this baby that men have said that she can't get rid of for whatever reason, then this baby going to be society's problem. If it survives, you got to deal with the nurture and the protection, the neglect that can happen. I mean, we are living in a society where we are dealing with children that are walking this planet that were brought into this world by parents that didn't want to have them or just wasn't ready. So, I can understand why it keeps going back to abortion, because vasectomies, the issue of vasectomies in men, by men always being the dominant society, we've never had that problem with women trying to keep us from doing it or telling us that we had to do
it. And my
when
emphasis,
it comes to abortion,
my emphasis, and I can agree with everything that you're saying, but my emphasis was on the right, who have the right to say one way or another, because if in the scenario that I gave, and Donna handled it very well as well. My thing is this: if he decided he want to go out there and do that in a marriage situation, have 2 kids already, he don't want anymore. She does, and he go out there on his own and snip. Does she have any right at all in that conversation?
Oh yes. I mean, 2 becomes 1. I mean, once again, that, like I said, sometimes it's simple and sometimes it's complicated. That's a simple situation.
Yeah.
Because if the shoe was on the other foot, I mean, can she keep him from doing it? No, she can't keep him from doing it, but she could disagree and be mad.
Exactly.
Just like he can't keep her from doing it.
I want to greet some of the people that's actually on the app here. We got Ultra Redeemer, we got KSG, we got Shot Slim, we got what's that, Miss Starks, and look at here, Rico. We got somebody on here called Big Head Rico.
How do you spell Rico, man?
Let me see. It's Big BIGHEADRICO.
Okay.
Anyway, Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Big Head Rico, ain't that something? He said, ain't gonna touch Rico. Badger, I'm not gonna touch it. But Badger, if you decide after being married for 2 or 3 years, you got 2 kids already, you don't want any more kids, and you decide that I just don't want to, and the wife, you say, look here, we're gonna have 2 more kids, we're gonna have another child, blah blah blah. You jet set against it. You go out there and get a snip, get that vasectomy. Were you right? Were you wrong? Does she have any say in that procedure? Whether you do or whether you don't?
I mean, I'd talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Let her know how I feel, and with my wife, she'd understand how I'd feel and would be down for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a situational thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you, we were in the other scenario as well.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I looked into getting that done.
Okay.
And that's expensive.
Mm-hmm. It ain't cheap.
It ain't cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Of me getting snipped.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just one of those things that it's situational.
Mm-hmm.
Should a woman be force a man not to do it? No.
Mm-hmm.
But a man shouldn't be forcing a woman either.
Yeah.
So to me, it's all about communication and what a relationship actually is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what changes the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if a man's wanting to get that done, which most of the time some men are looked down upon for it because of the way society is. You know, it's I know this one guy I know that had it done, and he was literally told that he is wasting sperm, and what he did was not right. It goes against God, and that blew my mind to watch a male get yelled at because they decided to get snipped, so his wife wouldn't have to go through having to get everything pulled out and all that stuff.
Wow.
So every situation is going to be different based on what's going on.
That's good. There's a lot. Let me go. We got, and Badger's right. Every situation is different. Every situation is absolutely different. Toya with a T. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Toya, I gotta ask you this question. You married? Been married for 3 years. Say 3 years. Y'all got 2 kids. You want more kids. He don't want any more. He jet set against having kids. So what he do? He go out there, snip, get that vasectomy, come back. You see the paper. You see the papers on the table. You see the paper. Okay, somebody got some serious situation going on.
Hello.
Somebody got some serious. Okay, there we go. Yeah, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, good. And I hope we didn't just lose too. Oh, we just lost. Okay, and you come home and there's some papers on the table, and you look at it and say, Marvin, what is this? Oh, baby, I want to have that little procedure done. Toya, how do you feel about that? Do you think you should have had any say so in him going out there doing that, or was he his body? He would make his decision, right?
Right. Yeah. It should be just as looked at as if it was me and having an abortion and not want to have no kids. See me, I'm not a selfish human. I'm gonna try to being a Christian or want to serve God. Part of that is being a server. You serve others. So I would never want to intrude on my husband or my man. And he say, "Well, baby, I know we got 2 kids. I know you want more kids, but I don't want no more kids. I want to go get a procedure." I'm gonna respect that. That's just me. But we got to talk about options, because if I'm gonna give you what you want and I still want more kids, what can we do? Adopt or whatever? Like, what's the purpose behind you not wanting kids? You don't want to put the work in, period. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't want your own kids by blood, like whatever it is. It doesn't matter. But I believe if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, you got to respect whatever their gangster is. And if his gangster is, I don't want no more kids, man. How am I going to be selfish? Well, forget what you want. You need to do this, that, or third. Okay, so it's the same way when we get abortions. And if, as women, we don't get no double standard, if I get to do what I want to do with my body and kill a baby, or have a hysterectomy because I don't want any more, and I want you to respect me, I believe it goes vice versa with men. I think men get the short end of the stick because of our position, or because the structure of how this relationship thing's supposed to go with you being ahead. I feel like, we try to make it seem like we can get away with doing things, and we got feelings that y'all don't have, and y'all don't process things. So y'all just supposed to be cool with this taking whatever, but you got to be gentle with us. And that's not the case. I have to respect the fact that you said you don't want any more children, and you don't want them by accident. You don't want them on purpose. And now what are we going to do? And I have to respect that. And if you don't, you're selfish.
Wow. Goddess, what do you say to that? Goddess, the mute button. Goddess, the mute button.
What I say to that, I totally agree with her. Like I was saying, I totally agree. The one thing I said was Enrico came back and reinstated it, was the fact about post-traumatic stress disorder. That's some women have that. Some women, and these are young girls of what they're going through, because of what they went through with their own parents or all that, or they just in college, in college and don't want to let their parents down because they work so hard to send them to college, and they should get pregnant in college. There's a lot of different scenarios.
Yeah, it
that
is.
happen.
It is.
And you know, so a lot of things happen. But again, back to the fact, it's the government trying to control people's bodies. And it goes back into that's a problem. When the government kicks in to try to control this, that's the major issue. So right now, I know a lot of people don't understand. Government control should never have a say-so in anybody's body, regardless whether it's abortion, whether it's taking a shot. And a lot of people don't know that that's what the United Nations right now is meeting on May the 22nd through May 28th right now, about, because Biden is bringing it to the table, about the World Health Organization and taking our actual sovereignty in and taking it to them and giving it to the World Health Organization. So therefore they can control the fact whether everybody takes a shot. That's controlling our bodies.
Absolutely. And so we're gonna actually, I said we're gonna go to the topic of the day at the top of the hour. We surpassed that, so we're gonna transition now. Anybody have anything they want to say real quickly on this topic right here before we move on?
Yeah, I want to add one little thing, man, because I think what happened with the government, they went out of control. You know, we keep saying control, but I think they went out of control because in some cases, government steps in because they want to protect the use of certain technology. You know, it can become an issue where people start using abortion as a recreation, as a weapon. You know, we heard Cassandra say earlier how she cried 9 years later, and she referred to the fetus as a baby.
Yes.
Well, if you hear a lot of those congressmen that's against abortion, or the people that's pro-life, they speak of the fetus as a baby. They say, well, you know, inside the womb, the baby can comprehend and understand. You know, the question is about when life begins. So now I think the technology needs to exist for situations where health is an issue. Like I said, it can always be a yes and a no for each situation. I think what they're trying to do, or what they probably wanted to do from the very beginning, was to try to protect women from having backroom abortions with clothes hangers.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, trying to protect the fetus, because like we said, 9 years later, some of these women feel like they had a baby. They lost a baby. And 9 years later, some women forget they even had 9 or 10 abortions. But it can be abused. It can be used as a weapon. A man can have his wife pregnant and she go get rid of the baby because she was mad at him because he didn't go buy her a car. You know, so there are reasons why the government does need to get involved, because mankind will take technology or everything that we have to utilize for our advantage and abuse it.
Absolutely.
So I think what happened is that they came in to try to stop the abuse of the fetus abortion, but at the same time, they abuse their authority because they don't understand that you just can't put a one-size-fits-all answer to these situations.
There is no cookie cutter.
Sometimes abortions are needed.
Yeah. Okay, let's transition over. Anybody else? Ibrahim, you have anything on your heart before we leave this topic? Been quiet for a minute there. Ibrahim, you there? Okay, yeah, we're gonna move on. And I'm gonna start this thing off. Who I want to go with here? Curtis. I'm gonna start off with you.
Yeah, what up?
Curtis, what are we putting in our bodies? And do we at some point do we always really care?
I have no idea. I'm just gonna be real. I mean, I've worked gigs where, you know, like when I go in the grocery store and I want some salmon, I look at the salmon pack because a lot of the salmon is being cloned. So, you know, I have no idea, man. We really don't know. We really don't know. I mean, things. It is now. I remember a time when you couldn't put a product out on the market for sale that was not FDA approved.
Exactly.
Right now, you can do that. So I really don't know, but you know, I was trying to say something at the last, on your last topic, and it is what it is, man. The world gonna be what the world's gonna be. We just gotta try our best to make it do what it do.
Um, and you said something, Curtis, about for a long time, for a period of time, everything had to go to the FDA and stuff like that, be approved to be served here. There's some things that's being served here in America that some other countries had absolutely banned, but it's still here in America, we still can consume it. So is it, Rico? Is it just all about that dollar?
Yeah, for the people that produce it, and for the consumers, it's all about convenience.
Yeah.
So it's like supply and demand. You remember I was telling you yesterday that a lot of people only think about supply and demand when it comes to drug trafficking, but they don't think about when it comes to technology, food, and all these other things that we need to survive, and some of the things that we want that we don't think we can do without. Those things that we desire, they're gonna give you everything that you ask for. And so it becomes a situation where us as consumers, we become, I don't want to say victims, but we become pawns to the producers that provide everything that we ask for. If you want more McDonald's, they're gonna build more of them.
Yep.
If you want more KFCs, they're gonna build more of them. Because the demand is there. See, the thing is we don't have to participate in this stuff. You want more gas, they're gonna give you more gas. Matter of fact, when we raise the price, if you ain't too dissatisfied with how much we went up on it, we might just do it again every 2 years.
Yep, exactly.
Matter of fact, we still see that they're gonna keep on asking for this gas. They're gonna complain, and they're gonna go take pictures of the gas pump. But sooner or later, they're gonna wear that as a badge of honor. Y'all, look at how much I can afford to pay to put this gas in my SUV. You broke, you can't do it.
Wow.
And they're gonna pay to play because they feel like now this is a sign of success, and I can keep up. If you can't keep up, shut up.
Wow. Ibrahim, I saw your hand, brother. What's on your heart?
Yeah, it's back to, I don't know if y'all changed from abortion, but back to reality. Have you ever seen an abortion performed? Because everybody talk about the coat hanger, but have you ever seen an actual abortion? And shouldn't a person know exactly what they're doing when you actually see abortion? I mean, the coat hanger is about the same. They just abort the whole fetus, right? Sometimes they had to go in there and snip it, tear it apart, and guess what? All that DNA that they're tearing out the woman's body, right? That's used. That's used DNA. That's DNA. That's recombinant DNA. That's a DNA that's good for another purpose, right? You know what I mean? Let's be plain about it.
Yeah.
I like to be honest. That's an honest reality. So
exactly. But Ibrahim, we don't actually switched up a little bit. Now we're talking about what are we putting in our bodies, and do we really, or do we really care? What do you say to that, Ibrahim?
Yeah, like the brother said, I heard the brother talking about we are consumers. We're trained to be consumers. We don't think, because we don't, now we're all urbanized. We don't think about what food looks like, where it comes from, and how it's processed. We make all these generalizations about what's healthy food and what's not healthy food based on something, and that's a fad because it changes over and over. All the years I've been alive, that fad goes and comes. You know what I mean? And it changes, right? What's healthy for you is moderation. What's healthy for you is non-government food. What's healthy for you, food that you can raise and see and cook and touch and taste. The whole process. When you go out and get a chicken, that chicken range big because you run around the house. Run up and leave the house, right?
Yeah.
You like snakes. So you take the chicken, you go out there and pop the chicken, kill a chicken. You try to be as sensitive as you can. A hog, same way. You know what I mean? But this is things that you have to choose to do, have to do correctly. You just can't mass murdering cows. I've been to feedlots in Kansas and all in Colorado. I'm telling you, you won't be for a week or several weeks, to be honest with you. But the process that you do it, like when we do it as Muslims, right? We pray over it and then cut his throat and let it bleed out, rather than smashing and hammering the head like you hogs and cattle and stuff like that. So it's a process. You know, what's good for you is to eat in moderation and try to eat as many vegetables you can and less meat. You know what I mean? But all of it is part of life. This is what put here for us. So we're mean to consume certain things, right? You know, at moderation. But other than
Absolutely.
that, you know, but we think everything as a consumer. Every time we want to do something, we say we need money for this. We got to get this. We got to build that. And that's a consumer mentality. You know, start
Exactly.
what you can you do without. You know, then that's what you need. Because you know, I've seen it said a lot of times. I've seen it. We will spend for what we want, and we had to beg for what we need.
Exactly. Yeah, I say that all the time. Somebody say I didn't hear the original question. Okay, yeah, and we're talking about right now. Are we do we care what are we putting in our body, or do we even care? Cassandra, what do you say to that? What are we putting in our bodies today, Cassandra? The stuff that we're consuming is certainly different. Do we even care? Or is it the convenience of riding through a drive-through and just picking up something real quick, regardless of how healthy it is or unhealthy it is? It's just gonna fill that void for that moment, and we're gonna continue to go. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Do we even care?
Well, yeah, some people care. I mean, some people don't care, but some people care. But I, I, I don't eat properly. That's something that I can admit myself. I don't eat properly because I know it's certain things that I should not be eating, but I like it. They say you shouldn't eat seafood. You know, you shouldn't eat shellfish or whatever. I don't know, all of that. I'm from South Carolina. I'm going to consume as much seafood as I can get in my mouth. I'm just being honest.
So you like?
I'm just going to devour seafood.
So you like them skimps? Them skimps.
I don't give a whatever crawling in there. I don't care if it's seafood. I'm going to eat it. And we everything, man. I don't know what can we eat, because I mean I'm being funny, but it's just, you know, like we just so much, we got so much stuff they saying we can't eat. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. Don't eat dairy. Don't eat pork. Don't eat fish. Certain fish. Don't eat shellfish. Don't eat. I mean, it's so the in the Bible, isn't there a scripture? I'm just throwing this out there. Isn't there a scripture that says, you know, don't condemn a man for what he eat or whatever? You because you don't know why he may have to eat that particular thing. So if it's, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, Cassandra, it's in Acts.
Okay.
It's in Acts, Cassandra. I know exactly what scripture she's talking
about. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know, it's all good. People, you know, people gonna always say you can't eat certain things, and some things are not healthy for us. We know that. But it's some things I like that I'm just gonna die eating it. That I'm just sorry. I'm good. I'm 63. If I leave here now, I'm good. But it's some things that I'm just gonna keep eating. I'm just put it out there.
Wow. Badger, what's on your heart? What we're eating, do we even, what are we putting in our bodies, man, or do we even care?
I mean, those of us that have learned what we're eating and what we're putting into our body is we choose not to anymore. All that corn that most people eat, you know, a lot of people have these views of anything that messes with our DNA and things, right? Then why are they eating genetically modified corn? It's literally genetically altered.
I'm gonna tell you something, Badger. I don't even, when I get a fruit, watermelon or whatever, I don't. People say, "Well, get the seedless one." I don't want that. If it don't have seeds in it, I don't want it. I'm not gonna eat it.
Ain't natural.
Yeah, I don't eat seedless.
And there are some people that actually run into an issue of trying to grow like old seeds, like stuff that's been passed down through the family and things like that. And if you grow too much of it, depending on where you live, they'll tell you to get rid of it. So there's a lot of issues and health concerns, like people, some people that get diagnosed with bipolar and things like that. If they're consuming Red 40, that could be the reason behind it.
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
it's made from an insect husk. And
Mm-hmm.
some people have a reaction to that insect husk
Mm-hmm.
to where it could be something that causes the mind to do something different.
Exactly.
So now, as far as this COVID stuff, I ran into some interesting people on that topic,
Mm-hmm.
and I've dug into research, talked to a couple of biologists and other friends of mine that I know that are in the science fields,
Mm-hmm.
and it literally goes in there and rewrites your RNA. It replaces your RNA and your DNA.
Wow. Wow. Okay, we switching up a little bit. Let me go to man, who is that down at the bottom of the screen out there? Man, I know that ain't my brother VP. I know that ain't VP. Man, I know that ain't VP. Somebody tell me that ain't VP. VP, that you?
Well, howdy, stranger. How are you?
What's going on? How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Hey, doing good, man. Good to see you, man. Ain't seen you in a minute, man. Everything going good with you?
Yeah, yeah.
Good deal.
Slowly but surely.
There you go. There you go. And Friday, good morning, young lady. I'm not gonna be rude. Good morning to you. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing good. VP, I'm coming to you, brother. What are we putting in our bodies, man? Or do we even care?
While I was preparing my I don't care meal back there, and
Okay.
I say that in the sense of, and I don't know who that was, but he basically brought up the best point that you can have is, unless you're growing it yourself, then you can't really say it's good.
Yeah.
And I put that in because I just ate some Ritz crackers and some peanut butter on it, and I don't know how that peanut butter was made, how it was jarred, where they got the peanuts from, where the Ritz crackers came from, the flour, or any of that. And as we do with everything, we can't really be saying. I mean, we get it. Media gets us to get to arguing about GMOs and all this, and what numbers on the fruit and the vegetables is there, but if you really into agriculture, you'll know what seasons vegetables and fruits are supposed to be sold. And we don't even know that anymore. We just get it when we want to. And by doing that, we've now lessened the choices of a variety of food that we can have out there displayed. I can remember way more stuff out there for meat section and for vegetables that I don't even see anymore. Like even out of season, I don't see okra. Or those real healthy foods that you need, not these ones that they could just manufacture. So in general, I don't, even though we fool ourselves that we're going into grocery stores and buying fresh and cooking it ourselves to avoid being in the restaurants, we still, in the back of our minds, have to know that this is manufactured and wasn't grown properly the way God intended it to be done. Where there's a healing in the soul, and there's a refresh, and there's a death, and then there's a new birth. Not just cut it off and go again, cut it off and go again.
Yeah, exactly. And see, I let the brother talk. He went about 20 minutes at a time, didn't he? He went about 20. BP went about 20 minutes, didn't he? Every time about 20 minutes. Well, he making up for lost time. He ain't been there for a minute. He making up for his lost time. I understand, brother. It's all right. Willa, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning, Tim. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good.
Good.
Willa, what are we putting in our bodies, or do we really care?
Well, I used to work for a large candy company for 30 years, and my job was GMC. So I dealt with the FDA and the health department in Illinois, and we had to take a test. In order to pass, you had to, take the test and pass, and learn about a lot of things. So I learned that there are a certain amount of rodent hairs that they allow in our food.
Wait a minute.
Salty grain beetles. If you ever look in your cornmeal or your grit, you'll see those little black spots and things. Those are salty grain beetles. Now, because they are attracted to flowers, large amount of flowers, and I used to have the chocolate plant cleaned all the time, and I would find a lot of salty grain beetles. So they allowed me to keep them to a minimum. but we was allowed to have a certain amount there. So from a FDA standpoint, they let you know what's in your food if you go on the website. And it also lets you know about the recalls that they have. Because I definitely had to say, well, because I was in a candy manufacturing industry, I had to keep up on that because I was in quality, what you call quality. So yeah, they're putting a lot of things, but people don't know. It's about knowing. That's why a lot of people now become vegetarians or even become just eating seafood. But even with that, there are a certain amount of things that are allowed. So that's my fact on that.
Wow.
Raheen. Okay.
Wow. And what caught my attention, you said that even in the candy that we eat, there's a certain percentage of rodent hair. That could be in it.
For sure.
Wow.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Oh, for sure. That's why I couldn't tell you where I used to work.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta keep my pussy checks.
Wow, that's amazing because ain't there's no telling what we're putting in our body. There's really no telling. Tucson, good.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Ain't no telling what y'all about to get. Be ready. Somebody opening up a soda right now. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Man, I don't know. Aren't you supposed to give the land some rest?
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say. Who said that?
They.
Who is they?
Them.
See, that's my point. We think they said it, but God said it. And our biggest problem is we don't want to listen to what He has to say, and we find excuses that are comfortable to us to justify our actions by any means necessary.
Wow.
To rebel against anything that He has to say.
Wow.
And if it goes to the extreme, well, our extreme, the opposite of our extreme of being obedient to Him, we'll call it a hate speech. Yeah.
Wow.
Because we just want to do what we want to do with no instructions, with no consequences. The earth will turn on you if you keep messing with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm talking about man, the one that has dominion over it. I'm not too bright now.
Come on.
But look at what's going on in our society.
Yes, sir.
Everything that has been said that wouldn't happen is happening. And instead of us getting any better based on what's going on, we ain't doing nothing but getting worse. And we find every excuse to get worse than we all already are. And then not only that, we're teaching others to be more wicked than us.
Wow. Wow.
Now you run with that. See how that worked out for you.
There you go. Let me go to Friday. Friday.
Yes, sir.
What are we putting in our bodies, Friday, or do we really care? Because that blew my mind when she said, the candy. I'm gonna call her later on. She got to tell me what company she used to work for. Man, got me eating all that doggone rat hair. So I'm gonna call her later, and we got to talk about that. So we'll expect a phone call from me. But Friday, what are we putting in our bodies, and do we really care?
We put whatever we want in our bodies, and we don't really care for real, unless we, want to get ready for some type of photo shoot. I think that people do care to an extent, but they don't care at the same time because of the frustration and lack of knowledge as it pertains to that. Because with just the different types of laws that even governs some of these farmers, when agriculture, when they were trying to dip into it, they started making these bids or saying, you can have this much land if you're going to use it for agriculture, but you have to do things like our way and things like that. So
yeah,
they got their, hand in it in that perspective. And so it does make it extremely challenging to really know, authentically through and through what we're putting into our bodies. Some things we can have some impact on. We can grow our own herbs. We can do a balcony or a backyard garden, some fruits and vegetables.
Now, when you say herbs, you talking about herbs or you talking about herbs? I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to
one gonna make you more hungry, and you're really not gonna care what you put in your body, and the other one is gonna add some flavor to some things.
Sound like you got some experience over there. Now, hold on. Now.
I won't confirm or deny. I'm just saying, a lot of comedians say it make you sit on top of the refrigerator. I don't know, but I'm just saying that. But truthfully,
Rico, get your sister, brother.
Of everything that we put in our bodies, we really don't know, and we get to a point that we don't care because we don't have a way of knowing, and by the time we figure it out, we've already consumed it or have no way of making it ourselves. More in the country, you might have more options. If you're hunting deer, you might have more options in your meat if you butcher it yourself. But a lot of things that we still consume, we don't know everything about it because it is a point where it's manufactured.
Good deal. Mr. Patterson, I'm glad you're back, man, because she started talking about herbs over there. So, you every now and then you get your little elbow, you nudge her a little bit, man. Hold on now. You get putting too much information out there and I'm talking about them herbs. But let me go. I've been waiting on this sister right here because I know she got something very interesting. Rosalind, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing? Now, why would you say that, Raheen?
I'm just saying. Now, see, Friday already started the conversation about them herbs. Now, I ain't saying nothing, but what?
She almost got put in the corner.
How everybody doing?
Doing good. How you doing this morning? What are we putting?
Good.
What are we putting in our bodies, or do we really care?
Some people care, some people don't. I care. I try to care. I've been like on a little health journey for the past 5 years. But a lot of people, like on Friday, was saying like lack of knowledge. Like a lot of people, like rice. Rice contains larvae, and larvae is like an insect. So if it gets to a certain temperature, rice can turn into maggots.
Wow.
Yes. So you just have to research stuff like I think that was Miss Willa said about the flour and stuff. Yeah, it's all you just have to look at stuff, look at the research and stuff like that. But a lot of people, they just don't care. They'll walk into a convenience store and grab a Coke. We don't know what those people are putting in that Coke. But you won't trust God and pray. You won't trust the people that's what you drinking. You trust that, but you won't trust God. I don't understand that. You won't read the Bible. It's all crazy to me.
See now that was the time
they are putting all kind of stuff, sir.
That was the time I thought I would have heard Cassandra say, "Preach, amen." I didn't get. I thought I was gonna get Cassandra's sound effect that time. I didn't get it. Okay.
We trust McDonald's and stuff like that, but we won't trust God. I don't. It's like it's all crazy to me. Like we don't know what they're doing back there when they're cooking our food and putting stuff in it. But I have friends, they won't even pray. They won't even acknowledge God, But to each its own, but I care about what I put in my body. And hopefully everybody else, like Friday said, lack of knowledge, just try to do your research on stuff and try to eat less meat. My grandmother, she's almost 90. She tell me all the time, eat your meat last, baby. Eat your vegetables first.
Yeah.
So try to take heed to all of that.
That's good. That's good. Goddess, what are we putting in our body, Goddess? Or do we really, to a certain degree, do we even care?
Well, let me say this. Go back to there's so much that we, when I hear people say to trust God, why not trust God, what God has put in this earth for us to heal our bodies instead of pharma, which is a devious route. See, that's the key factor. A lot of people are not getting. So when you're getting into herbs, regular food, vegetables, I know I've been working on myself. Uh, I had caught COVID, and actually never. Let me say this: a marathon, not COVID, because my body was so alkalinized that I never caught COVID. I was around people taking care of them with COVID and never caught it. My body was so alkalinized that and my immune system was so built up that I never caught it. And I was at a high risk because I have been acknowledged with high blood pressure. But then Omicron hit me. Omicron hit me with high blood pressure. It didn't hit me no other kind of way. But instead of me going to the hospital, they gave me medication, pharma. But then I started taking my blood purifier tea. Lord, I went to the doctor. Now this is within a 2 month. Went to the doctor. Doctor said, "Hey, look, your whole body and your blood pressure is on point. How did you do this? Is that medication doing great?" And I said, I also worked on my diet, eating certain foods, changing, not eating salt, not eating foods that were good for my body. A lot of people don't know there's two types of iron. Like women have iron problems. There's two types of iron. And a lot of people think, well, let's eat meat because it has more iron in it. But Serponella is better because we need flora iron, which comes from green vegetables. See, a lot of people are not understanding that. See, our bodies and our makeup have certain DNA that we are only able to, our bodies are supposed to eat certain foods. And a lot of people don't know that. It even goes down to your blood type. If you ever follow Dr. Sebi breaks it down between vegetables that are not, I can't think of the terminology of it, but like cauliflower. You'll never see any wild cauliflower grown. That's something that was made up.
That's good.
Broccoli is another one. I love broccoli. That's something that was made up. So eating properly, eating right, that's why we don't have diabetes. If you just watermelon seeds, a lot of people don't know that if just eating watermelon and watermelon seeds, you boil the watermelon seeds and you drink it as a tea. You sift it out. It has magnesium, zinc, everything in it.
That's good. That's good.
It's a diuretic. I mean, all the people that have okra, somebody brought up okra. All that's in the okra, that'll help reduce anybody that has diabetes. Just you can put the okra, the little stuff that's white stuff that comes out of it. A lot of people don't like that because it's slimy. But you can just put that in water and drink that. It'll lower your diabetes.
That's good. That's good. And there's so much stuff out there that people just don't take the time to heed, or information is there, but people just don't take the time to research it and find out what it is that the benefits that's tied into it. Charles, what's on your heart, brother?
But they trust the doctor when they go and they prescribe this medication.
God is hold on. God is
they turn around and hurt you.
God is hold on, sister. We got to move somebody else. Hold on. She said absolutely she's telling the truth. And I love the information she's putting out there because it's needed. But like I said, I got to keep the show going though. Charles, what's on your heart?
To your question, when people do they pay attention? That's a yes and a no, man. Do we care? And I'll go as far.
Charles, you're in one of them bad spots, brother. I got to come back to you.
And I'm not going to do it this time.
I'm going to come back to you. Rico, what's on your heart,
I am in a bad area.
The question was, what are we putting in our bodies? We are putting in our bodies what the label says it is, the biggest words on the label. So now if you go back and look at the small writing, the small print, You're getting a whole lot of additives and preservatives and carbohydrates and proteins and amino acids and all kind of other chemicals. You know, somebody mentioned the word convenience store earlier. That goes back to what I was saying earlier. We are hooked on convenience. So we are putting in our body whatever is most convenient so we can go and do other things that aren't as important. It's almost like throwing the hull away on the orange, not realizing that the hull is the healthiest part of the orange.
Yep.
Hold on for a second. I got to pay by this man off. Well, I ain't going to say what a second, but it's going to be a little loud for a second.
Okay. Rico, while you walking past here, let me say this to you. I went to the mall and they got the smoothie shop in there. And I ordered the smoothie, the pomegranate smoothie, and they they take the banana and they put the banana in there as well. But the young guy, he said he was gonna peel the banana and throw the peel away. I said, nah, man. I said, hold on. I said, what you doing? He said, I'm making your I said, no, man. I said, wash the banana off, wash the peel on, and put that in there too. I just put the whole banana in there, man. Don't throw the peel away. And they looked at me like I lost my mind, right? Because nobody ever said that. I said, no, put the whole banana in there, man. Don't throw my peel away. I need that. And then I said, look, go and do your research about what you're throwing away when you throw that peel away. Because a lot of the vitamin, nutrients, and everything is in that peel. But go ahead, Rico. You should be past that person now.
Well, see, that's what's happening. You know, we don't read the small print. We look for what's most convenient. So it's funny that Willa brought up where she worked because I was thinking about when I worked at the chicken plant. I worked at Tyson. And as I worked at that chicken plant, man, I had no idea until I saw it with my own eyes just what was in those chickens. First off, I was amazed that from birth up to 6 weeks, that was all it took, and it was on your plate.
Good Lord.
From 6 weeks old, from birth to a full-grown chicken, edible chicken. So that lets you know it's plenty of steroids.
Yeah.
So I started seeing some of those chickens after they die. I was like, man, some of the stuff on the inside of these chickens don't look right. And they would be infected, but see, it's called that mass bulk production because they got to feed the convenience, the people that want that convenience. And so, I think about how people spit out the seeds of watermelon. They say the watermelon, man, that get on my nerves. I love watermelon, but I always got to worry about these dang on seeds. So I prefer to get the ones without the seeds so I can just keep on enjoying myself with no kind of hassle. Getting GMO watermelons. See, we eating pesticides too.
Yeah.
Monsanto, they created the GMOs. They created the PCBs and the pesticides that you can grow with your plants or grow with your fruit and vegetables, and they not have to worry about the bugs. But now we ingesting those same chemicals. And so here in Anniston, we had the largest lawsuit at one point in time because Monsanto contaminated the ground. So even if you did have your own garden, the ground was contaminated with the PCBs. Even if you did go out in your backyard and catch some fish, the fish were contaminated with PCBs. And some of these PCBs cause people to have babies with 3 eyes. Oh, yeah, we ingesting a lot of stuff, man. And so, and these people, Monsanto, George Bush told them to talk to him because he was in the deregulation business. And they talked to him, and now they control all the seeds, Monsanto. You can't get no seeds unless you get them from Monsanto. I think you can get some from other places, even though they got a seed bank for the elites put up somewhere in case something happened. But Monsanto controlled this. But I was thinking about when I worked at that chicken plant, I remember plain as day going to buy a candy bar of Mr. Good Bar. On that package it says chocolate, milk chocolate with peanuts. But on the backside of it has a whole lot of little other ingredients that I said, well, I don't care about them ingredients. I just want this chocolate and these peanuts. But then as I opened up that candy bar, that thing had full of worms all up there. I mean, man, it was worms in it.
Good Lord.
Package. It was actually in the form of the candy bar, but it was just laced with worms. And I knew then, I was like, man, something ain't right. They got to be putting something else in this chocolate for these worms to just come and grow from this. They just came from that. So, it really shows you that we're putting a bunch of artificial things in our bodies and not anything natural, even when we're growing it ourselves. If we're not careful what we get the seeds from, we're getting seeds from Monsanto that are full of chemicals.
Exactly. Wow. That's good. Charles, you're in a better place, brother?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So first I'd like to tell Rico, with those worms in that candy bar, they should have charged you extra because that's protein. I'll just kidding. You got worms too? I just kidding.
No. Oh man!
No.
Oh, I hit the jackpot!
What? You hit the jackpot today. That's like a golden candy bar.
Woo! Look at that!
Woo! Hey, man! People don't care and they do care.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to even go into the vax thing, but people put in their bodies what the government tell them to do. Everybody on here that's speaking about like herbs and things like, not the herbs that Friday was talking about, the other herbs that don't give you the munchkins.
The munchkins.
Make you sit on top of the refrigerator. Not those herbs. We're talking about the good ones.
Oh, the real
no, but people,
ones.
Man, supplement is the key because the food doesn't have it in it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you told that person for the banana and stuff, and they didn't understand because the foods have pesticides on them now, so they don't understand those things. I grew up, man. We had both my mom, my aunt was a vegan. This is in the 70s, and my mom, both of them had this book called Back to Eden. And you don't see this book in nobody's house. Back then, man, you can go to people's houses and you'll see this book, Back to Eden, and it'll tell you, like, my mom, they used to go outside at a certain time of the year and go pick a certain plant off, wild plant, just like I see Vietnamese doing now. I see Vietnamese on the side of the expressway picking plants, and they'll take them back and they'll boil them and they'll clean them out, and then just like, clean yourself out and things like that. But variety is the key, man. Cleaning yourself out, variety. Because I talk to a lot of centurions, people who made it to 100. Yeah. And I always ask them the same thing. What do you eat? They always have a variety of things. Herbs. Yep. They have a variety. They have they don't eat just meat. They don't eat just vegetables. They eat a variety of stuff. And that's what we got away from. We get away from that and we put it to what Rico said, everything is packaged.
Charles, let me jump in there for a sec. Is it more of what we eat or more of what we don't eat that makes the difference?
Dang, that's good. It could be both, man.
Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that.
It could be both, man. It could be both because if you're not eating, like somebody mentioned, irons, and your body is lacking those irons, then you're in trouble. I don't care how good you think you're eating. If your blood pressure at a certain level and you're putting a bunch of salts or salted meats or anything in your body, then you're in trouble. You understand? Maybe that most of us don't. Men, we have the problem of and I'm not being funny, but men, we have the problem of we don't go to the doctor until Mr. Willie start working. You know what I'm saying?
Something about the fall
off. I worked at a men's clinic, and the major thing that men would say, when the last time you been to the doctor? And they're 40-something. Oh, I just when I was in the Army. Well, how long you was in the Army? 3 years. So you mean you ain't been to the doctor since you're 20-something? Well, that's how you been. Why you in today? Because I can't get it up no more, doc.
I need some help.
Right. Or when last you been in the Army? Since I played high school football. But you ask a woman that, and she's been to the doctor. If it wasn't for her parents teaching her how to go, not saying you got to trust, but at least get your blood work and stuff done.
Good deal. We're gonna stop right there, Charles. Let me go to let me go back to VP. VP, talk to me, man. Is it more what we eat, or is it more of what we don't eat that poses the problem?
Phrase it again. Can you phrase it differently, I guess, or
is our health and or our lack of health? Is it a major contributor what we are eating, or is it what we're not eating, and that we're not getting the vitamins, nutrition, everything, supplements, and everything that we need? Is it more what we're eating or what we're not eating that's causing the problem?
I think
that's a tough question, ain't it?
No, it's more of because it ain't just the food. It's a combination of the lifestyle that we're in, where we have become less of a workforce, strenuous, and more in technology and intellect and more of a broader reach. So they've cultivated, well, you know, just in America, because not all societies are like ours, but the cultivation of America and capitalism and, you know, just keeping your lights on has made us have a diet of convenience. So even, you know, I was thinking through everybody's stuff, you know, we could change our diets and try to eat fresh, like I was saying before, and still want to speed it up. Like I have an air fryer and a pressure cooker. So it ain't like I still want to, even though I have the mindset of wanting to slow down and change the diet or change the way I prepare my meals. My mindset is in this 21st century world that we live in. So, you know, it's easier to go and just pick it up from the convenience store. Like Rico and others were saying that it's a convenience to just have the convenience of I can make oxtails in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Instead and not worry about doing it for work 4, 5, 6 hours and then laying around and eating snacks during that time because I'm sure I'm not gonna do nothing productive.
Yeah. And the push-ups and sit-ups, man. What are those? You mean is it kind of snack or something? Push-ups.
Them cuss words, boy.
Stop using that profanities. Stop using the profanities. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
I mean, once again, you know, this is a subject that I've actually had to do a lot of research about because of my wife and kids' allergies. And it's wild. Because there's a lot of issues and concerns in a lot of ways because it boils down to what is acceptable and what isn't. And we've learned how much they have put in our foods. And I was actually surprised at how much was put in the foods. And it was one of those things of, well, what do we do now? Because now we're in a situation where a lot of things matter. And there's a lot of things that they can't have, they can't eat. Yet almost everything is made with the stuff that's not good for them. Or they can have because of their intolerances and health issues and things like that. But it made us realize, like with me, I had to quit ingesting anything with Red 40. So when you start actually digging down into genetics, food intolerances, your allergy or a person's allergies and things like that, what we put in our bodies has a huge effect of how healthy we're actually going to be. How much weight we gain, how much weight we don't gain. Some people gain weight when they don't eat. So taking time out of your day to learn more about yourself will help you, if you pay attention well enough, will help you realize when you're ingested, constipated, or things like that. Well, what did I eat? Am I stressed out? Okay, no, I'm not stressed out. So what did I eat? All right, I'm going to wait for a few days, for a week or two, and then I'm going to eat that thing again and see if I get constipated again. Oh, I did. Guess what you do then? You either go to the doc and you go, hey, every time I eat this, this happens. Why? Well, let's get it tested to see what's going on. But make sure you eat it before you go take any test, because don't let any one of them doctors lie to you. You need to eat or be sick before those allergy tests and other tests will actually come out right.
Okay, and see, that's one of the things. That's one of the things that Goddess was actually speaking on earlier, man. Knowing what to eat and what not to eat, because everybody's blood type. You see, people don't know, and I know Goddess is educated on this as well. But your blood type, there's certain things that with each blood type you're not supposed to eat. You know, you're
Yeah.
you're not supposed to eat certain things based on your blood types. But people
And
don't
with
go
some
that
of my,
deep into it. People don't go that deep into it to find out what it is or what blood type am I and what should I not eat based on
see
my
that
blood type.
for me, there's two things you don't ever take away from me:
Mm-hmm.
potatoes and fish.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, it is what it is.
Now, what if potatoes and fish is goes against your blood type?
Oh no, it's not. It's for my blood type.
Okay, got you. Rosalind,
Sir,
what's on your heart, sis? Talk to me.
I'm just listening. Um, I've been very cautious of what I try to eat. Um, ever since I underwent weight loss surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Because of my health issues, I had diabetes, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, you name it, I had it.
Mm-hmm.
So I underwent weight loss surgery. My blood pressure went down, my diabetes kind of went away, and I kind of try to eat right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have to, I have my daughter, and she's everything to me. So I try to
Yes.
make sure I try to do right. I don't want to leave her. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to die knowing that I could have ate healthy or paid attention to what I put in my body.
Mm-hmm.
That would be selfish of me to do that, knowing that I had all the intention of doing right and I could have did right and I didn't.
Exactly.
So I just try to pay attention to what I eat.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should anyway.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Kurt, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, Raheen, what's up?
We talking about what we're eating, what we're not eating, and the health benefit or lack of benefit of some of the things that we partake in.
Well, take care of yourself, sweetheart. You know what, man? Once people gather the information that's needed, and let me call you right back. Well, hold on, Raheen.
Okay, let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, this is how I do it. If I eat something, it's pretty much like what Matt just said. If I eat something and I know it's certain things that I eat, I know I'm gonna get sick of. I still eat it because I like it for some reason.
What?
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. It's some things that I know if I eat it, it's gonna make me feel some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it so much that I will take that bad feeling because it may make me feel bad for 30 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
But shoot, I done enjoyed it and everything. It's not
Lord.
good. It's not good, I know.
Nope.
But I just at this point I'm just gonna live my life. Everything, if you listen to people, everything is gonna make you sick. So
Mm-hmm.
for somebody,
Mm-hmm.
somebody gonna get sick from it. It may not be, me, it may not be you, but somebody gonna get sick from it. So I'm just at a point, if I eat something and it makes me feel bad, then if I want to eat it, I still eat it. That's me. That's
Mm-hmm.
just me. But I totally think that people should, pay attention. If it makes you feel sick, at least hey, eating that makes me feel sick. Like every now and then, ice cream makes me feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Every now and then, maybe every 3 months or 4 months, I'm gonna eat me some butter pecan ice cream, even
Briars.
though I know I'm gonna be sick afterwards. Hello,
Is that
I'm
that?
sorry.
Oh, you talking about that
I'm
Briars
being
butter
honest.
pecan ice cream? Cause I got some upstairs right now.
Let me tell you something, man. I ain't playing with you. I will eat that thing, and then I sit there, and my hand is swimming for about 30 minutes. It'll make me feel bad about it, and then I go like, okay, I'll try that again in about 3 months, 4 months.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Just to say, that's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Mm-hmm. And we all have those. We all have those.
I'm back, Raheen.
Okay, talk to me, brother.
Well, first, let me say, you know what? One random act of kindness can change somebody's life.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep being reminded. I just picked somebody up from the shelter who got a phenomenal idea in reference to what we're talking about, but don't know how to seek the information to get it. So just put that out. But you know, man, I'm reminded. I hear everybody talking, and everybody is making valid and wonderful points. But Cassandra consistently reminds me of the scripture in Acts, where it talks about don't speak blasphemy on a man who eats differently from you.
Mm-hmm.
Because as long as that man, in so many words, what the scripture says is, as long as that man prays over that food and good faith, the food is cleansed. So, but I get it that certain foods have been genetically modified. I heard Rico talking about those chickens. And I used to work for a high-end food distributor, right? That distributed to not only residential, but high-end restaurants, right? And one of the things that we had to learn was we had to learn the product for which we was delivering just in case somebody asked. And I'll never forget it, man. We had a class where they took out some chicken that they had bought from the local, grocery store, and the chicken that we distributed. And if you pay real close attention, the next time you're in a grocery store and you're looking at chicken, look at either the chicken breast. Sometimes you will see it in the thigh. You'll never see it in a wing. But if you look at the breast, you'll see a line in that breast, and it'll be a little like pellet in that breast. And we mistake it as fat. But here's the truth. That is a tell-all sign that the chicken for which you are fitting to purchase has been filled with steroids.
Mm.
The line that's running in the breast is simple logic when you think about it. If you take a needle and stick a needle into a muscle, right? True or false, is that needle going to pierce that muscle and create a line for that needle? Once that needle is all the way in,
Mm-hmm.
does it not pierce the muscle and create a line, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Once the person that's sticking the needle injects whatever's in the needle, if you pay real close attention, even with your regular needles, when a nurse give you a needle, once she inject, when she pull it out, what's one of the one things she do? She'll take the palm of her hand. Sometimes, depending on what the needle is, she'll take the palm of her hand and rub it around the wound. Or she'll put a gauze on it and then take the palm of her hand and rub it around the wound. That is to spread, that is to make whatever she injected you with kind of spread a little faster. But if you look at the chicken, you can see where whatever was injected, it's set in like a pellet.
Mm.
So, I heard when Rico said steroids, oh man, I heard that because I done seen that. I done been in the class where they done taught us how to recognize that. Yellow chicken. We go in, we buy chicken that's yellow. That chicken ain't supposed to, it's not supposed to look like it's got jaundice, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, that's all I got, bro.
Good deal. Let me go to Willa. Willa, what's on your heart, sis? And Willa, what chocolate company I need to stay away from?
I ain't gonna tell you, but I'm gonna tell you this though.
Yes.
I eat the candy, and I also give children and my family. So if that'll make you feel better.
Is that a Reese's peanut butter cup, or is it Reese's or Snicker bar, or
anyway, I want to also share this information because information is so important. Because manufacturing is going to do their thing. They manufacture in massive amounts. So there's no personal intimacy with any individual can or meat or anything like that. They're going to do what they're going to do. But we have to be responsible to do what we need to do, like wash our vegetables thoroughly, wash our cans before we eat them or suck through a straw, even a pop bottle, because you don't know. That's why if you go into a manufacturing place, industry, you will see how they got all kinds of truck tracks around the area or other light things that they got in order to control the pest that gets up in there. So we have to do what we need to do as consumers to make sure that we're safe. Washing our food, wash the top of your can, your beer can, because you never know what ran across it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just here to give out, information to kind of help us think about what we're consuming when we buy these products. And that's my take on that. Bro.
Wow. VP, talk to me, brother. Uh-oh.
Oh no, I thought it dropped. No, I was sitting here with talking to Shay on Friday, and Curtis was talking about the steroids with the needles, and I was trying to think back of ever seeing it, but I was trying to remember that they were using these feed. I thought was more of a, but that I like that information. Makes it got me wanting to go look some stuff up. I think for the most part, when it I'm not sure if anybody said it, no moderation is something that's been said before, but if you ever want to try to re-educate yourself in what's in food, try, even though it sounds bad, try one of these little fad diets. Like I tried the keto diet just to, see what it's like to lose weight. And it ultimately makes you not have any type of carbs or any type of sugars. So that makes you go read the ingredients on the back of the box, like Rico was saying, the small print. And you start to understand how much corn is in almost every piece of product of food that we eat, as well as some form of sugar. So I was on that diet for about a month, and I lost about 20 pounds within that. But it came back quick because that's the way we're formed. When I was off camera for a minute, I was thinking to myself, it's amazing how, we're talking about what's good and bad diets for us, but in the ultimate scheme of things, not to ruffle people's feathers or make them sound a certain way, but we were formed in God's image. So all those things that were made for bad, God will turn to good for us. Not to mean you need to go out there and overindulge in Oreo cookies and Reese's peanut butter cups, but it's amazing to me that we've been on, human civilization has been on this earth for so long and survived so many different types of diets that so many people are trying so many different types of things, and we keep growing and advancing regardless of that. So, just because we're in an age now where convenience might be something, if we don't go and change the way we are and fight back the manufacturing over manufacturing of things, we're going to be in an age where we're going to be at a loss and wishing we could have a choice to have these bad diets again.
Exactly. And that's the thing right there. But I want to go back right now. I want to go back to our goddess. And goddess, I said earlier about your blood types and how you're not supposed to eat certain things. Certain blood types are not supposed to partake in certain foods. Do you know anything about that?
I know a little bit about it. I know more about the melanin in our skin, the type of foods we're supposed to eat, because I am melanin, which also could cross over to anybody who's not. So like detoxification on your just water wise. We all should be drinking spring water. A lot of people are not understanding that the spring water is the key factor of what we should be drinking. It alkalinizes your body. I think alkalinizing your body as a whole, and it doesn't matter what your blood type is or whatever, is the key thing. But how do you alkalinize your body? That's key. So when you're drinking your water in detoxification, like Sandra said, she eats whatever she wants to eat, but it's okay to a certain extent, long as the fact that you are detoxing your body. because I eat shellfish. I'm like her. I'm not perfect, and I love shellfish, and I know that we shouldn't, but that's because you get so many different metals input in our bodies. But we need to watch what we eat. A lot of people are not paying attention because things are really, really changing now. The modification right now with the babies, I don't know if y'all pay attention to how now there's no formula on the shelves because the baby, we have gotten used to giving our babies cow milk, and it's causing all kind of dangers and death to the babies, called necrolysis. So NEC or whatever, and babies are dying here today. We just got through talking about abortions, but what we're giving our babies are killing our babies, or deforming them. You know, so breast milk is the key. So when we get ready to start doing that, then we need to make sure that we're eating properly so our kids can eat properly. Another key factor is that have anybody, I had to sit back and look. I ain't never been nowhere, and I'm from the country. I'm from Kansas City. I'm a city girl with a country flavor. So I ain't never been nowhere, and anybody ever caught tilapia up until my day, until now. Where you go catch tilapia at? That's a man-made fish.
Man-made, absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
I was watching on TV. I was watching something. Somebody sent me something the other day about whiting. Be careful what type of when you buy packets of whiting. They washed the whiting and put it in water like you do, regular fish. But they was like, dang, I ain't never been able to squeeze whiting like it's a sponge.
Yeah.
It didn't break apart or anything. So now they've gotten to a point where the FDA is, you don't have to put certain things on the labels no more. So yeah, we got to start watching what we eat. We have to. It's imperative that we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sugar is something that we should remove. Sugar and caffeine, that should be removed from our diets, period. Those two things, I promise you, if you remove sugar and caffeine, you will have an overall improvement in your whole health.
I was listening to a dietitian person, and they wasn't trying. As a matter of fact, it was one of my Caucasian sisters. She was telling me about some stuff, and so I know she wasn't being funny when she said this. But Rico, she said, remove everything white from your diet, like white sugar, white rice, white flour. She said remove all of those things from your diet, and you will absolutely feel better. Rico, what do you say to that?
I believe her. Killing part is I've heard some black people say that before too. Black scientists like Dr. Sebi, it might not have been him exactly, but other people that specialize in our diet and our health, and it gets swept under the rug, gets overlooked. But once again, that's sort of the brainwashing and the other mechanism that's in play with media. We see these commercials and we see $5 foot long or Little Caesars $5 commercials, and we think, man, that's a good thing. It's convenient and it's cheap. That means I don't have to take time cooking, and then I don't have to spend that much money. But little do you know, you probably could spend just as much money 4 days off of what you spent off that bucket of Popeyes. For that one day. So I mean, we have been taught to think that whatever is convenient is better. We've been taught, brainwashed to subconsciously or just assume that if it's for us to consume, it got to be good. So I even listened to this conversation that we was having, and I was hearing the insinuation about herbs, really cracking jokes about sugar and alcohol and cigarettes.
Absolutely.
But see, it's okay. Those things are okay, and those things are people are putting in their bodies, and they dying, and they drunk driving, and they killing themselves. But when we mention herbs, it's almost like we caught y'all having sex. Y'all was getting booty. Well, you grown. That's what human beings do.
Yeah.
So now we take something natural like herbs, and then we could say because somebody put this narrative out there that we'll take something that's really good for us, like hemp, marijuana, something that's helpful that has never killed anybody, and make it seem like, oh man, that's bad because it alters your mind state a little bit and make you laugh and get hungry. But we drinking all the alcohol we want. Look at this nice this nice Miller Lite, this nice Budweiser Bush, this Newport and these Marlboros. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Working at that chicken plant, that really opened my eyes a lot more about what I was intaking into my body. You know, I look at the milk and I look at things on the counters and on the shelves at grocery stores, and I realized that, man, some of this stuff came clean across the United States. Some of it came clean across the country, and it's still good.
Yeah.
So I started preferring to shop local. I'm gonna say I wanted local raised cattle, local raised fish, local raised chicken. That way I can almost know how that company that produced it, what they use, you know, what they pretty much what they consisted of.
Exactly.
But we do have to be very mindful of those things, man, because there's a lot of preservatives and things that we're intaking too. And these chemicals that we do put in our body, such as PCBs, they don't go anywhere. They just like uranium. They hang around.
Exactly. And I was going to ask Cassandra a question, but Cassandra, we just lost her. So I'm gonna go to Rosalind. Rosalind, I need you to help me out on something. Now, Rosalind, have you ever ate church's chicken? look at VP over there. Look at him, man. Rosalind, have you ever?
I'm here. Well,
have you ever eaten church's chicken?
A long time ago.
I'm trying to figure out something.
Long time ago.
Because I stopped eating it. I stopped eating it a long time ago as well. Because every time I ate it, you know, it almost like it gave me a gas problem, acid reflux or something. Something in my, you know, something just wasn't right. But I'm trying to figure out where in the world do they get them gravy goes? Because you go to places like KFC and they got little small little chicken wing, you know. They got churches got them big giant chickens. Where they get their chickens from?
I don't fool with big chicken at all.
Big chicken.
That's like a red flag right here.
Exactly.
It's a red flag. I think it got to be the steroid chicken.
Yeah.
Got to be.
And if you work at churches, you're affiliated with churches, and we're not trying to come down on you, but you got to admit now, y'all got some big chickens over there. Now churches, y'all got some big, some great big chickens over there in that place. Willa, what do you say to that? Willa, do you eat church's chicken?
No, sir. I don't eat church's chicken. I just like the Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, they got a special kind of chicken. Kentucky Fried got a special kind of chicken.
I don't even like Popeye's chicken.
What?
No, I'm so sorry.
Look here, you shocked. You got VP over here shocked. He's paused. He's shocked.
And the original.
Look. He said you ain't even black no more. VP, what's on your heart, brother?
No, I'm just over here listening, enjoying everybody. I'm reminiscing because I remembered all that acid reflux you do get from churches, but I am guilty. I do miss the gizzards and they honey biscuits. But have you ever, I guess I'm gonna have a Rico moment. Have you ever noticed? It's amazing you brought that up, and it's amazing that you find churches in only certain communities where they seem to allow this type of growth to be sold at mass. Like you can't go to KFC and buy a 8-piece for $5.99 and get sides and cut away from the chicken, like, and feed it for $3, like Jesus Christ breaking up the fish and bread and giving it to people. You can do that with church's chicken in an 8-piece bucket. So I find it amazing that they seem to lessen their standards when it comes to certain demographics. And I hope I ain't trying to bring up no flame, at the end of the show, but we also need that shows that we need to have some type of community awareness for the health and overall health of our communities. Because if we can get on the show and openly discuss and know what's right and wrong, but still allow it, then we're kind of missing it in the end.
Exactly. Wow. It's actually it's time for us to get out of here, man. We could go a little deeper into this thing, man, but we got to get on out of here. It's time for us to end for the day, man. Great conversation. I definitely appreciate it, each and every one of you. They have Church's Chicken in Kuwait. Wow. It's called Texas Chicken. Okay. I see. I didn't know that. Good deal. Rico, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
If you missed today's show and would like to see the rebroadcast or hear it in its entirety, you can tune in on www.dklmediagroup.com at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Good deal. Good deal. Hold on now. Y'all ready? Willow!
Raheen!
Willow!
Let's go.
Are you ready?
Raheen!
Are you ready?
I am so ready to receive the word of God. I am so ready, Raheen.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's hear from God this morning. Father God in heaven, Lord, we thank you. We thank you for this show, oh Lord. Father, we're asking you, oh Lord, to help us. Help us in our consumption, Lord. Give us the mindset, Lord, to know the things that we should intake. The word says that it's not what comes in the body, but it's what comes out the body that defiles us. And Father, we thank you for your word. We thank you for not having us ignorant, Lord. Father, we love and honor you this morning. Touch each and every last one that's on this line. Answer their prayers, oh Lord. In the name of Jesus, Lord. Keep allowing the Holy Spirit to be surrounding them and their families and their children. Father, we thank you so much. We love and honor you this morning. In Christ Jesus' name. Amen. 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 Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
Yes. VP, that's our prayer warrior right there.
That's a true intercessor.
Yeah,
call her on the hotline.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, all right, man. You know what's on my mind, man. Listen, like I said before, my days have gotten better, man. It seems like, you know what I'm saying, hearing her do what she does, man, it's much needed for me. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I mean, so yeah, if VP felt it, he just said it himself. But I do want to say something. VP brought up a point about the demographics and the food we're being served in churches and this and that. And I think all of us have these stores in our neighborhood that the Chinese pop up with. They sell the shrimp fried rice and the Philly steak sandwiches. They almost like American Deli, but they're their own offshoots.
Yeah.
I found out that a lot of the companies that they buy their food supply from, they have labels. Even from French fries to chicken wings, they have A grade quality and a D grade quality, probably E grade quality. It goes up and down. And most of those Chinese people that we are feeding and making successful and flocking to their restaurants, they're feeding us the lowest quality food.
Yeah.
The French fries don't have potatoes in them. They might start off with the high quality product, but eventually they start selling the low quality product that comes from other manufacturers that don't have as good a standard. So we got to be mindful of who we support and also make sure that we don't make convenience cost of our livelihood, our health.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And that's, with that being said, brother, that's a perfect way to end right there, because we have to be careful. Because at the end of the day, if we're not careful, we're going to eat ourselves to death. We're going to eat ourselves to death. Point blank, period. I could try to figure out some old fancier words and all that stuff, but we're going to eat ourselves to death if we're not careful. And it don't take long. With that being said, it is now 10:04. Time for us to join in today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:04. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light of you from the morning glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. You get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Take care of each other, and please, please, please be blessed. Have a great day, y'all.